Hey, aye, Captain.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh shoot. Oh, I got this. Oh, I got your Twitch stream on by accident, so I hear you saying that twice.
Oh, no worries.
Can you hear me okay,
I,
by the way?
yeah, no, you sound
Is
great.
it reverberating?
No. You sound really good. Yeah, your voice sounds great.
Oh, why, thank you. But what I meant was, is the audio quality okay?
You sound amazing to me. You-
No,
You're,
okay, because I this time instead of headphones, I'm using a mic and speakers, but if it gets too weird or annoying, just let me know. I'll switch back to
no, for sure.
headphones.
That's all good. No worries. Um, oh yeah. So, dude, tell me how's it been going for you since last time?
Yeah, so I'm really bad at analogies, but
Okay.
racing up to this 1:30 p.m., I was trying to make a burger so I'd be energized before we start. And I realized that burger making process is probably a great analogy of StarCraft for
Okay.
me because I had like 10 minutes to make that burger to make it in time, and I had the buns cooking while the burger patty and the onions were sautéing and everything aligned up just perfectly. And that's how I want my StarCraft to be. But instead, at one point, I was like, wait, I'm trying to lose weight. Do I want half a bun or a full bun? And I spent like a minute indecisive. And that's exactly what happens with all my larvae because half the time I find myself not spending because I'm not sure what I want to do yet.
Yeah,
So,
and then your onions are fucked, and then everything you're overcooking
yeah,
the meat, and you're like, now it doesn't
exactly.
taste as good. It's not. It's just not as nice.
And then essentially the Terran party parade runs me over.
Yeah.
So,
And
um,
those are cockroaches that you just let get in your house, and then they just ate your food.
exactly.
It's like doesn't make any sense at all. Uh,
Let's see. I took some notes actually because hey, I'm just gonna send you the notes. I took some
okay.
notes so I don't forget. But since our last session, right after our last session, I won 8 to 10 games in a row. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I won a lot. I did really well. And then I think, probably like exercise. I had a good technique, and I think I lost my way. So I need Coach Vibe to kind of help get my technique back in shape because I think my sense of timings is still a little flying around. I think I'm getting so focused on he's gonna attack me, whatever, that I lose focus. But maybe I can just run through some notes. Okay,
Okay.
so
Sure.
one is I'd love getting help reinforcing timings and staying on top of macro.
Okay.
Um, and then, oh yeah, I think I did get better, but I think a lot of people got even better in the last few weeks because I was having no problem going above 3200 MMR, and now like Platinum 1 players are starting to play like Diamond 2 level players are
Yeah.
playing early. So, anyway, okay, a few notes I took. If I wait till 2 base saturation to put 3 drones on gas, I don't have enough gas for 8 safety roaches when the roach warrant finished. So maybe we can talk about that.
Okay.
Or yeah, should I just read through these really quickly, or how do
No,
you want
no,
to do it?
that's fine. I mean, I don't mind. But so when you say if I wait till 2 base saturation to put 3 drones back on gas, I don't have enough for 8 safety roaches. Are you talking about the speedling expand? Yes, right?
Speedling expand,
Yeah.
yes.
And so, remind me if you can as to I'll explain because I'll give you an idea of what. Like here's what basically I'm thinking. Like if you go for a 3 base, and you go for a double drone pull off of gas, to go like
Yeah.
just one guy on gas. So after you have 100, and you're taking your 3rd base, if you're going to make a roach warren first, that's totally fine. But the the thing about a build like that, it will never feel safe unless you make extra queens, and extra queens are so like they're mandatory for you to be greedy with just straight up lings. The only way you can skip queens is if you just never stop mining gas with 3, and then you like speed up your tech version of whatever you're gonna make, whether it be banes or roaches or whatever. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know. It's the idea of you making queens to stay safe and then like rushing 8 roaches like ASAP. I would say definitely won't do that. We can talk about that in your game and it could make more sense to me, I
Okay, that's
guess.
helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So that was one.
Okay.
The other one is that I've been trying to incorporate leaving 2 drones on gas for all matchups, so that for Protoss and Terran, I can do a speed overlord with a guaranteed scout.
Okay.
The thinking being that if I know exactly what they're doing, then I should always win, assuming I play properly.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
Uh,
that's something.
no, yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, if you have speed overlords, it's definitely going to give you more of a I turned it down, guys. No worry. If you have speed overlords, it'll make it more like guaranteed info, right? Like you'll be like, okay, well now I know for a fact that this guy's going for a Stargate, or this guy's going for a like triple factory, or whatever race he is, whatever unit comp he wants to go for. It gives you
Right.
100% absolute information. That's not a bad thing. The only thing about that though, that is something that you need to be aware of, is that
Okay.
whenever you go for overlord speed, it caters to players that know how to react to stuff. So
Right.
it'd be like here's an analogy, I guess, I can throw at you. Think about like poker, and if you really understand, like Texas Hold'em or something, and if you really understand the game, and you, like now scouting for you would be like, you get like 1 second to like lean over and look at their hand and then lean back, and you're like, well, now I know what you have. If you know,
Exactly.
if you like analyze that and go, that's better than mine or that's worse than mine, you can immediately like know how to play the game forward. Like in a game like Hold'em, but in StarCraft 2, if you scout someone's base with an Overlord, you're going to get absolute information of what they have. But it is an
Right.
investment that's going to slow down your macro. And the
Right.
only way that works properly is if you know how to react to what you're seeing and go, oh, I know what beats that. And this is
Right.
what I will now do. Instead of, because some people will react to it in a way that this is not what you should be doing, but they think they should. And then they're just behind doing it as well. So they're definitely going to take damage.
So I feel like the type of player I want to be is definitely one that's very aware and
Sure.
is reacting
Okay.
correctly. So we don't have to do that if you think
No, I
that
mean,
it's better to focus on other
if,
fundamentals
if that's the
first.
road if you want to be the ultimate fucking well-rounded like guy who never gets surprised by stuff, absolutely use
That's
Overlord
what
speed. Yeah. Use
I
that.
feel like
Yeah.
when my understanding of a game is well enough, if I know what the other person is thinking, like I have played poker, I feel like I generally obliterate them. But I am right now in a position in StarCraft where I know I definitely don't know how to correctly react to many things.
Sure. I mean, that sounds good. I would say would want to use Overlord speed in all 3 matchups, but the only difference would be you could get it early game against Protoss and Terran, and you would get it later on against Zerg. Like you wouldn't get Overlord speed until probably like 6
Yeah.
minutes or something against Zerg, because you definitely don't want to rush Overlord speed with the way Zerg goes. You can just run a speedling in their base, and then you're fine anyways.
Actually, for ZvZ, I'm not so concerned about Overlord speed yet, exactly for the reason that you mentioned, but
Yeah.
it's more for the ones that can wall off their
Yeah,
bases.
exactly. Yeah, so that's fine, and I'm down with it. I mean, that's definitely not a bad idea.
Okay, okay, we can play around, see how you feel. Then against players with random race, I open with 16 pool, 18 hatch instead because they tend to cheese a lot. So it's kind of a safe opening, I feel. But I don't have a smooth rhythm with that. So if we do face a random player, maybe we can do a 16 pool.
Okay. So 16 pool. I would say, so you have choices, okay? I would say you don't want to make the game too awkward for you at the start of the game because you overthink what could happen.
Okay.
So I would say if you want to go down the road of really working on what a pool first would look like and then how to transition that, we can definitely talk a lot more about that. But another idea that I could give you, if you're like, I really don't like being cheesed, and I really want to make sure that I can spot cheese coming before it's a thing, you could actually take your first drone you build, so drone 13, that guy
Okay.
could literally run across the map, and as you get to about 18, like 17 supply, you could decide, do I want to expand now or do I want to make a pool now?
Okay. Okay.
And
Oh
then,
yeah,
yeah,
we could play with that idea instead. That's because so that's basic. That's a better macro opening
yeah,
because I'm sticking to my
yeah.
initial macro build.
Because if you go for pool first, it's gonna make your, so pool first. I would say this, okay, you cannot play pool first and then just never do anything aggressively and still be ahead.
Right.
You will have to figure out some way to make some type of like ling poke or something like that to get you ahead if you want to actually be ahead. Otherwise, you're gonna have
Okay.
to just be accepting the fact that you're always gonna play from behind if your opponent macros.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. I like that. And actually, we'd probably be spending too much time going into a route I don't normally care to go instead of just doing one tweak like the 13 drone pull
Yeah,
on
it
a
would save
regular.
you a lot of time, I think, honestly. And it's a very minor change, and you can still turn it into a macro build. But if he has like nothing at the natural, and you're like, or like nothing at the ramp or something, and you're like, where is all your stuff? And this is
Yeah.
Terran, and he's got gas as well. Like, okay, now pool right away, and your pool will be still early enough to deal with it, but it's not going to be hatchery first into pool. You can still just go, all right, now pool gas immediately as a reaction, and then I can make a hatchery later. So you can
I
you can take it if you want to. You can take it down the road of still going pool first. It's just, yeah, the first drone will get across the map pretty fast, and you'll get to his base around the time when you're at 17 to 18 supply.
Okay. Okay, cool. Actually, by the way, I love getting cheese because those micro-intensive battles are so they require so much brain power to like handle correctly. So I love them.
Yeah,
I just want to get better at handling them,
for sure, for sure.
but yeah, the idea is of course scouting them to be safe against them.
No, yeah, like, well, like, even in normal all in, like, a lot of time, if it was like, let's just say you were playing it against a Terran and he was gonna proxy Rex you, like, you don't even have to actually scout it until it's at your base to react to it, because you
Okay,
like your second overlord could be in front of your hatchery and you could be like, oh, look at this guy, he's building a bunker, and now
I
Marines
see.
like one at a time, or like one's here, then 7 seconds later another one's there, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm getting it's proxy Marine all in. Uh,
Oh, okay.
and
My
then you
drones.
can absolutely, yeah, you can absolutely react to it before it is like, I'm gonna die now, even if you went hatch first. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, if it was like, if you scouted his base and there was just nothing there, you wouldn't be reacting to it. Like for instance, the way you would have to react if you went hatch first against, like, let's just use proxy Rex bunker rush as an example. The bunker would get
Okay.
thrown down at your natural, and your pool would still be like 20 seconds from being done. It would like 15 seconds from
Yeah.
being done. You would not be done yet. So you're not. There's no lings to be made at this moment. You'd have to pull
Right.
drones. You'd have to like smash some SCVs around, smash some Marines around. Like, because a Marine, or the beautiful thing about a drone and an SCV is they run faster than a Marine without stim pack. So you can actually chase Marines down when they have no group of them. When it's like 1, 2, maybe 3, and you have like 12 drones on top of them, you could actually just
Right.
kill them as they try to kite you, and then they just die. It only gets scary
Okay.
when there's like a lot of them. So you can actually like pounce on them early on until you have lings, and then you can deal with the lings and stuff like that. But now if you have, let's just say you go down the other road, and let's say you would have scouted the guy's base, and you're like,
Mhm.
okay, Terran has nothing at his base, and I am worried now. I'm immediately gonna, like, there's no natural, there's no depots on the ramp, or there might be depots on the ramp, but there's no racks. I'm just gonna go pool first, like, immediately. There's this seems like it could be a proxy. Pool first right now. Your pool
Yeah.
will finish. It'll be finished probably about like uh, 10 to 15 seconds before the bunker is, or 15 is kind of pushing it, probably like literally 5 to 10 seconds before the bunker is like gonna get set up. And he might not even bunker you now, because if you're literally gonna full on one base it yourself, like, he's gonna be bunkering an empty natural. So
Oh,
he'll probably, yeah,
okay.
he's gonna, I don't know what he's gonna do with that. Like, he might do something else, but it depends on how he wants to play from that point. But you definitely would have access to a pool being done, and then you could have access to a queen being started already, and you could have access to anything else you want. Like, if you're like, oh, I want to deal with this with roaches, or I want to deal with this with just making lings on my ramp and making a spine until I have speed, or something like that. Like, there's a lot of options you could have. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, one thing you should do, though, one thing I definitely recommend, if you go the route of the drone scout, is
Mhm.
if you immediately go, all right, I'm making a pool and a gas, because he doesn't have anything on the command center and the ramp, you need to make that choice pretty fast, because if you wait until you scout around his entire base to be like, did you just put it somewhere? You're not going to be making a hatchery or a pool until you're at like 20 supply, which is super late.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but I would say definitely keep the drone there. Even if you go pool gas right away, keep scouting his base, just in case there is. Oh, you go, oh shit. Well, okay. Well, he just put it in a weird spot, like behind the mineral line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it could be like, well, I could still now not overreact and be like, freak out. I could still maintain good saturation on my mineral line and slowly fill up the gas and then take my natural.
Okay. So if we face a random player, maybe we can make that adjust the
Yeah,
13
sure.
scout.
Sounds good.
Um, okay, that was one. Okay, then other ones, I feel reluctant to green box for some reason. I feel like every army
Yeah.
unit has to be hotkeyed because green boxing that extra fraction of a second will take too long. So I think I feel this pressure that
So
if I'm not like, do it within milliseconds of reaction times, I'll be too slow.
I'll try to convince you with this, because I want you to know that green boxing is mandatory. And it's not mandatory in a way that tells you that you have to be able to micro every single type of fight with green box. But there are plenty of situations where you need to be able to separate your army at a moment's notice, and
Yeah.
having like hotkeys, making a hotkey for that is not always going to be, it's going to be slow as shit. Like, you're just going to be like, okay, this is not going to work out.
Right.
So an example of that would be, let's just hypothetically say you are doing a run by and you want to run into your opponent's base, but you don't want to just hit one mineral line by going one go there, now one go there, now one go there.
Right.
You go, hey, green box. You guys go there. You guys go here. You guys go there. I want to like maybe kill a specific building. Like, what if you're killing like, what if you have enough links to get 2 mineral lines and maybe kill like a tech lab or like a dark shrine
Right.
or like
Yeah.
you can just make the most of your units. Only green box is going to do that for you. Another example that's you're going to run into a lot as Zerg, and you probably already are encountering this a bit in the level you're at already right now, is if you are playing against a Protoss and they have Psionic Storm in their army, you need to green box to be able to counter micro that, or you will die. If you cannot hotkey counter micro that. It is all green box, 100% in your mouse. Splits of your units comes from nothing but your mouse control, and green boxing is mouse control. So you have to, I would say, get comfortable with it because it will only get more intense the better you get at micro.
Okay. I'm sure you'll catch me at situation, or yeah, if you see a situation where you think I'm overdoing it, please do feel free to remind me or force me or
Sure.
agree.
So I want to say one more thing to make it really, to make the idea here really solidified. So I don't think you're wrong when I think that I just want to make sure that this is not going to go misinterpreted. I think that if you have the idea that everything you have unit wise on their side of the map needs to be hotkeyed so you have absolute control of everything, I'm not opposed to that idea. That's totally fine. That way, if you ever need to make a quick retreat or you need to like bounce camera to a location to like, I want to go to that group of units of mutas over there or that group of hydras or this or that, you can easily like control your units at will with the keyboard, and that is nice. But setting up aggressive things or reacting to like crazy AoE things is definitely something you can use with your mouse, and then you can always so like I can use my mouse to like spread them out, but then I can bunch them up with the keyboard. Hey, go select move here, and that's fine. So that concept is great. You should totally have your stuff hotkeyed, but you could have the ability to also mouse micro them. Is probably the best way to. I want to make sure that's being interpreted. So it's not like just don't have shit hotkeyed. The only time you should ever not have something hotkeyed, and it makes sense to not have it hotkeyed, is if you're gonna do it. This usually applies to like either pure Ling or Ling Bane. Like we're talking about like not mass either, just like a little group of it. If you're gonna go counterattack someone's mineral line off to like the side, or if like you're gonna use your main army on like the right, and a little tiny Ling Bane army is gonna bust like something like a PF on the left, and you don't need a hotkey for that because you have a lot of diversified army already, or something. If it's just gonna be a sacrificial run by that you want to do damage, you don't need to have it.
Oh, sure.
Like you expect it to die, but you want it to do damage in the process.
I guess even in those situations, I'm always pressing Alt whatever to like spin them off into their own thing, and then I set and forget them.
The last thing I'll give you an example of, this happens to me sometimes, which is why I think it's relevant to say to you, is if you get really, really good at controlling a diversified army, you don't have that many hotkeys to spare. Like I will actually have 5 hotkeys for units, and now I want to do a run by as well. So adding in like a 6th hotkey for units, it's getting like insane. Because I actually have a sequence where my entire row of hotkeys are used up if I get to that point of the game. But if I still want to do a run by, it just is unhotkeyed.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I have one of my hotkeys dedicated to being the spin it off and like remove alt whatever, that's
really good.
That's like a rundown hotkey, so I can keep removing things as needed.
That's super good.
But okay, that's helpful. I want to improve at looking at the mini map. I'm not looking enough. I know someone is going to do a timing, like a warp gate charge lot timing or something. And I'm preparing roaches, and then I'm just not looking at the mini map, even though I have my overlord spread. I'm not looking for the moment the warp gate passes the mini map. So building a rhythm, I suppose.
I think that's really just from it's not so much like always looking at the mini map. It's from game sense that tells you like right now there should be something on the mini map like, oh, Terran's dropping the left. Well, what's going on the right side? And then there we go, there it is. That's one way to do it. And another way is it's really not about looking at it like just staring at it. It's really, I don't know how to explain it. It's something that everyone learns eventually. It's really a lot of peripheral vision, honestly. That's probably the best way I can describe that, because like you get to a point where you just kind of like know when to expect shit. And then like you're doing your thing, and you're like, well, nothing's happening right now for a while. And you just like spot, oh, there's a red dot that just passed by over that thing over there, Creep Tumor or an Overlord over on the side. And yeah, I don't know. It's not as easy as just saying, just make an effort to always look at the minimap every single point of the game.
I see.
Because I really don't look at the minimap, I'm not going to lie. I peripheral view it.
Oh, sure, and that's what I meant. Even just glancing, or I guess maybe I need to put more emphasis on peripheral. But yeah, yesterday when you did a 10-second countdown for when the Banes were coming into your
Yeah,
base, and
that's that's game sense
that
for
made
sure.
my day.
Yeah.
That made my day. Yeah. So I understand it's like hybrid. Um, okay, and then I think last one is after 44 supply, I find myself supply block too often.
Okay.
So you make overlords after you hit the supply cap? Are you making them in advance?
I'm making them
Does it?
always in advance. Always in
Okay.
advance. So
Is there a general rule of thumb
yeah,
as
so
to
you,
how?
you gotta just understand. So this is there's two ways to do it. There's kind of like a kid friendly way where you're like, all right, class, the circle goes in circle hole, and that way is probably like count the amount of hatcheries you have that you're injecting and make that many overlords every time you inject. That's an
Okay,
easy way
sure.
to be like, you will. This was not going to be the most efficient way, but it will help.
Okay.
The way is the most efficient is you have to understand what you're making supply wise and what it costs. So if, for instance, if you're gonna make a Ling style or you're gonna make a Roach style, those are two different Overlord timers, and because one is two supply, one's one supply, so it's different on your larva how it ramps up and shit. So if you're gonna be
Okay.
doing a style that is, let's just hypothetically say you're gonna go for like a speed, like something you do, you're gonna go for like a speedling expand into 3 bases, and you're gonna be making for the start of the game overlords and queens and zerglings and drones, some type of that combination for the
Yeah.
first couple minutes. So what's gonna happen is you have to understand how much larva are you gonna get every 30 seconds for how many bases you're on, and the answer that you're looking for there would, let's just say currently you're on 2 bases and your third's like halfway done. You're getting 12 larvae every 30. So that's important to know that. Now, not only that, but how much, if you're going to be, let's just say you're going to be making queens out of both your hatcheries the entire time, just for instance, you're
Sure.
going to be making a queen per hatchery every 30 seconds as well. 30-second intervals is really good to understand what you need because it resets over and over and over because it balances out really well with injects and with queen timings.
Right. Right.
So now we're talking about 12 larvae every 30, and we're talking about 2 queens every 30, which is an extra 4 supply, because each queen's 2
Sure.
supply. So now we're talking about the potential of 12 plus 4, which is 16. So you have 16 potential supply every 30 going in your base. And if you don't make overlords, you're never going to be able to afford that. So you need to do the difference of what overlords now provide, which is if you have 16 supply available and you need to make or you have 16 supply coming in potentially, you can actually take off, let's say, 2 larvae of that. Let's just do it like a quick little
Right.
thing here. So now you only have
Sure.
10 larvae instead of 12. So now you have
Right.
10 potential supply coming in plus 2 queens, which is 14. But you have 2
Right.
overlords now that are being made, and that's going to offer you 16, so 16 is still greater than 14. So if you make 2 overlords per inject on those 2 hatcheries, if you're going lings, it will work
Right.
out. Barely, but it will work out. But now let's say you're going to go roaches. And
Right.
let's say you're like, well, now I'm just going to make roaches and that's all I'm doing for a little while. You now have 12 larvae, unless you're going to make queens. Oh, that's actually no queens. You're just making roaches.
Sure.
So you delete the queen supply, and you have to. That's why you have to think about this and understand what is your goal. Like, are you making queens or are you not making queens, and stuff like
Right.
that. It changes your supply value. So if you're not making queens and you're just making roaches, and you're getting 2 hatcheries being injected, so it's again 12 larvae every 30. That is potentially 24 supply every 30 seconds, and that is
Right.
2 overlords. Then now let's say you take 2 overlords off, you're still going to be in the negative because now you're going to be at, instead of 12 being 24, you're going to be at 10 being 20 supply, and then you're going to have 2 overlords giving you 16 supply. So it's still 16 is still less than 20. So that you
Right.
need 3 then. So you would need to change your build order to have 3 overlords and only give you 9 larvae being roaches, which would be 18 supply out of 24. So you have
Oh,
to.
so
Or go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, okay, so I've got 12 larvae in this case.
Yeah.
If I have enough to make the 12 roaches, but I guess I have to consciously make that effort to hold on to the last 3 larvae for the
Yeah.
next set of
So
overload.
this is probably the easiest. Like, so I don't want you to think that like the numbers I'm giving. I want you to. So let me say it like this. I don't want to make it confusing. I want you to understand.
Using so
No, okay,
far.
because I feel like I'm gonna start like I had to stop there because my mindset was about to tell you 3 different things at once, and I was like, okay, I'm about to make this a bunch of gibberish. Uh,
Okay.
but basically, what I want you to think about is I want you to know that that's how it works, and it gives you
Sure.
like a real understanding of like what larva means, and it's so easy if you break it down for every 30 seconds, and you think about every hatchery being a representative of that, which gives you an additional 6 larvae, because if in the way anyone who doesn't know this, You get 3 larvae every 30 from an inject, and you get 1 larva every 10 from automated larva generation. So in total, it gives you 10, 10, 10. That's 3, and then the 3 at the inject. That's now 6 larvae.
Right.
So
6 larvae per hatch every 30
yeah,
seconds.
so it's really important to know that, and then you can do the math on what makes sense. So it gives you a kind of an indicator as to like how many overlords you should probably be making, like in general. That's just mathematically what it makes sense to. But now in the game, in execution, I'm not expecting you to be like, okay, 2 plus 2 plus 2, okay, 18, okay, no, we got to do it, okay, 22. Like, I don't want you to do these fucking numbers. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but it'll make you understand if you really know what you're talking about. If you can take a moment when you're not in the middle of a game and understand the numbers of what they mean, it gives you more of an incentive to be like, when you're in the game, okay, I know I feel it, and I know I need to make overlords faster. So here's a super simple way you could describe this. If you're playing a Ling style, like a Ling Bane, everything you make out of larva costs 1 supply, like just 1 supply productions of larva. Always keep like a 10 to 15 supply cushion on your hatcheries, on your supply. So like in top right, you're like, oh well, I'm within 15. Let's make an overlord. I'm within 15. Let's make an overlord. And then you just make 1 every time you're within 15. And you can do the something a little different where you ramp it up just a little bit more when you do a roach style. You can be like, I'm within 20 supply. Now, so it's instead of 10 to 15, you're doing 15 to 20. I'm within 20 supply, 15 supply, anywhere in that realm. Okay, let's make a let's make an overlord. Like definitely try to make it when you're within 20 supply. So you'll be like, okay, well currently I'm at 31 out of 50 overlord because my inject's gonna pop off and I'm about to make fucking 9 roaches or 6 roaches or 8 roaches or whatever, and it's gonna go like almost 20 supply at once, and I need to make sure I can afford that.
Okay. Okay, makes sense. You're still gonna probably have to hammer that into my head while we're playing.
Okay.
But
I'll definitely be like, okay, you need to make overlords faster. It depends what you make though. It like really, it's really down to a lot of times. It doesn't really matter as much with hydras and anything in layer tech and beyond, because at that point in the game, you're already gonna have such an established economy that it's gonna be really easy to, like, if you need to, you can do. Oh, I just made 7 at once, and fuck it, that just happened, and you're not gonna be like, okay, well that just screwed you because your drones are still there. But in the early game, if you're gonna go roaches or lings, that's when it really matters more, because you're still working only with like 22 drones or 19 drones or maybe 30 drones. It's like it's a low drone count, so your money matters more because you have less of it.
Sure. Okay. By the way, it's really hot here.
Sure.
I'm gonna try turning the fan on. If it becomes really loud, let me know, and I can either turn it off or I can try.
Yeah, turn that.
I'll try my headset.
Turn that fan on.
Can you hear
me? I can hear you just fine. Keep that fan on and stay cool, dude. I can't hear anything. Don't suffer and sweat over there.
Okay. One second. I need to get some more water as well. So give me 1 second.
Okay. But yeah, just for the sake of the VOD, for you guys right now. So just to elaborate a little bit more on the overlords, it's yeah, no, like queen supply and overlord supply is or like queen supply and larva supply definitely has an indicator as to when you should make them. That's why whenever someone asks what is the strategy to make overlords, always exactly, if you don't know what you're doing, you can go back to the first thing I said, which is just make 1 overlord per hatchery you have that's being injected, because that'll always give you enough supply to do whatever you want to do. But it might be a little oversupply if you're going Ling style. But it's okay. It's not. It's the worst thing in the world is to supply block rather than to have a little bit of excess, for sure.
Actually, you know what I realized? I think I can't handle the fan noise.
Sure.
So no I am gonna need to put my headphones on.
Okay, no worries.
Let me change my Discord settings, input device. What the heck? Where did all my stuff go? Oh, input mode. Okay. Let's do
this output. Let's do this.
Are you still on the call? I think you left the call. He'll probably rejoin in a second. Hello, hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I think I closed Discord there by accident.
No worries.
Microphone, microphone. Okay, wonderful.
Nice.
And then I guess the last thing is, if you think it'd be worth it, maybe it would be nice to do this. How about can we do one just for the sake of rhythm, one max out?
Yeah, that's fine with me. Oops. That works for me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then too many settings around here. I need to like balance all these audio sounds. Make sure I can hear Coach Vibe properly.
You want me to do a test for you?
Oh yeah,
Hello,
sure.
hello, hello, hello. So
Can you do something a little bit more seductive, like
you need
hello?
to make your fucking.
Oh, there we go. Okay, okay, that's perfect. Okay.
All right. So give me a quick idea about like your not like don't you don't have to be super thorough. Just give me a quick rundown of like the generalization of what you think what you want your build to be right now. What we're gonna go for.
Okay, so I want to open the basic macro 18 or so yeah 18 hatch 16 or sorry 16 hatch 18 pool gas like
Okay.
18
Yeah.
whatever 8 gas 17 pool.
No worries.
And then get my third hatch as soon as possible. Open you know, my queens of course with the normal timing. Get my safety roach Warren, and then I guess let's maybe let's pretend we're against Terran.
Okay.
So against Terran, if they're going bio, and I have trouble, I think I just don't make enough units by the time they're doing pushes at around 7 minutes. So if against that, I guess we could either do Lingbane Hydra or we could do Muta Lingbane. But you know what? Why don't we just do Hydra
Yeah,
Lingbane
I think it's easier.
into Lurker, maybe?
Sure.
Or
That is the easier overall better style that you'll play. Honestly, it's just
okay.
it's the mutas. Mutas are really good, but mutas require a lot of attention to be good. Otherwise, they're
Sure.
really bad. So if you want to just a generalized way to like feel confident in ZvT, I would highly recommend Hydras.
Okay. And actually, the reason I love Mutas, but I want to pick this one because Hydra Lingbane, Hydra Lurker also happens in Protoss. So I think I just overall need a solid standard build for myself with a rhythm,
Okay.
so I can max out.
Sure.
Okay.
And
so
then I have one question: Are you going overload speed or no this game?
Yes, please.
Okay, you have to quit. You don't have to quit. It's
Oh shit! I quit. Okay.
It's okay. It was just a one question of the overlord speed or not. Yeah, I don't want to distract you. I just because it'll
fine.
change your third timing if you do overlord speed.
Oh, okay.
Because you can't get it as fast if you're going that too. Like it's gonna be a little bit like not much, but it's gonna be mildly slower.
Sure. All right, this is the kind of Friday I like. Coach vibe in my ears, and here we go.
Gonna make you a monster of StarCraft.
That's the dream.
All right, make that droney boy. See, nice green box usage already right there. You need more of that. Good shit.
8 minerals at a time.
Stack those patches. Good job. Make that OV boy. Oh, you made double drones. So now you get a gas trick. Overlord first and then gas trick.
Not enough minerals.
Now at 70 minerals. Oh, you did too early. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Drone it up and cancel the gas. There you go. Restack that patch if you can.
Oh shit! Okay, I know what I did. Yeah, I screwed up my hotkey there. Okay,
No worries. Let's make drones again.
So 16, right?
Yeah, that's fine. And then you send a drone now. Nice design. I like your little lasso.
It's for the little cannon in the corner. Sometimes
yeah,
I throw
yeah.
it in there.
Mine more minerals. You can't buy stuff on credit in this game. Not enough minerals. Mine more minerals. You can't buy stuff on credit in this game.
All right. Pause the game really fast. I want to tell you something, and I don't want to distract you. I'm actually going to
Okay.
change your build order. I'm still going to give you Overlord speed, but I'm going to give you something that is going to be because I'm thinking about like what benefits you the best in your average game you're going to play, and what I'm
Sure.
about to tell you I think will benefit you the most. And this is what I want you to do from now on. I want you to mine your mineral, your gas with so make it really specific. I want you to not ever take a drone off of your first 16 on the mineral line. Okay, and then I want you to fill up your gas with new
Oh, okay.
drones. Just fill it up with new drones, and I only want you to mine with 3 drones on your gas until you have 50, anywhere between 50 to 60 in your bank. And then I want you to take 1 drone off. And I want
Cool.
I want you to then put it. I'll come back to that in a second. And then I want you to put that 1 drone on your natural, and then I want you to get Zergling speed and Overlord speed after you take a 3rd base. So I want you to start your 3rd first, and then right after that, when you spend your larva, and as soon as you can afford it, link speed, and then as soon as you can afford it again, Overlord speed, and then as soon as you have Overlord speed, take 1 more drone off of gas again, until you're basically until like you have all of your larvae spent, until you have a queen being made in both your natural and your 3rd. So multiple queens is important. Your larva being able to be spent is important. And then finally, once your natural is like really good on the mineral line, your main is good on the mineral line, and you're like, well, now I'm starting to saturate my 3rd base, and I'm feeling great about my larva. Put drones back on your gas and your main, and that's when you take your roach warren. Okay.
Okay, so we're not gonna, yeah, so drones, only new drones go into the gas, take 1 off gas after 60, and then take the 2nd drone off gas after?
Yeah, after you get 200 gas in total.
Got it.
So you can
And
afford
then,
both upgrades you're looking for. And the reason why I'm going to tell you to do the reason why this would make sense for you is because it's going to still give you Ling speed and Overlord speed, but it's going to prioritize your larva by a faster 3rd, and it's going to prioritize using that larva to make drones with. But it's still going to give you access to Ling speed if you need it, like if Hellions attack you or something. And it's still going to give access to Overlord speed, which you can scout with him and figure out what your next plan of action is going to be.
So is my 3rd hatch going up at 26
It's going
or
up
28
super early.
supply?
It's going to go up like 26 to 27 supply. It's going to be really fast.
Okay. And then as soon as I have used up any larva and I have the next available minerals, I do Overlord and Ling speed.
And then the last thing I'll say, the reason why this number 50 to 60 for gas initially represents a big important thing. Cancel what I just said if you're getting all in, and you leave 3 on gas and get Ling speed right away. If you're getting all in. So like all ins would represent proxy racks, bunker rushes, Reaper all ins, things like that would be something that you would go. And here's why this is also relevant. You'll notice around the time when you're at 50 to 60 gas, your Overlord's going to be flying over his natural. And if you don't see a natural, you fucking continue to mine gas. You're like, okay, well.
Oh, okay. And I prioritize Ling speed in that moment.
And then you can alter the build back to something that's a little bit more standard, where you can, for instance, go back to maybe what you're already used to doing, where you get maybe 100 gas, take 1 off, get Overlord speed, and then go from there, and so on and so on. So it makes.
Oh, you mean take 1 off gas, get Ling speed.
Yeah. So far, what I just said, is there anything that's confusing, or how you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
I'll run you through it again. I'll run you through it again because I know I just explained a lot, and you're probably gonna be like, "Fuck, now I gotta do it."
I think we're just getting to the moment that your instructions hit. The moment we get Ling speed and OV speed, right? So 60 gas, 1 off, 200 gas, take the 2nd off, get your hatch as fast as possible, and then when you focus on larva first, and OV and Ling speed.
Yeah. So you still can make
and
up
I'll
the
take
4
my queens
lanes.
at the standard timing when the
you like basically. The idea of all of this is going to be you want to make your queens as fast as possible out of the first 2 hatcheries. And then you want to never prioritize the queen out of your hatchery again, like your natural. But make sure you do it the second you have enough money when it's not going to disrupt your larva.
Right. Okay, yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, got it. Last thing is this. For this build, can I make 4 Lings to defend against the Reaper?
100%, yes. You should always make the 4 Lings against Terran. All right, whenever you're ready, go for it.
All right, here we go. I forgot what I last did, but here we go.
All right, so you're wanting to set up the gas now with your new drones, and you're at 19 supply. So, do not make an Overlord. Do not make an Overlord. Make another drone right now and send it to your 3rd.
Okay.
And then don't make an overlord again. Make another drone and send it to your natural. You're going to let the natural give you supply to take your third.
Got it.
Okay, so rally both your hatcheries to the natural now and make sure all of it's going to go there. And then make another... now you're gonna save now for 4 lings and 2 queens. And now take a drone off gas. Because look at the Terran's natural. Is there a natural there or no? This is when you'll see it.
No, but it's the easy
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
You'll never have a
If
natural.
their guy was a real guy, you would leave it on. Now, do not build an overlord. Build a hatchery. Build a hatchery right now.
We need more money. We must place that on.
And now, you can don't start link speed or anything. Start an overlord now and make drones again. So overlord first, and then a drone, and then once you can't spend any more money, make link speed.
We need more money. Minerals.
Okay, and then there you go. Now you're getting ready to set up. Now inject your head. Do a creep tuber and an inject.
Oops.
That's okay.
Sorry, I got
That's
the
okay.
wrong one.
Now make your larva first again. I would say make one overlord because you're going to supply block super fast again if you think about your larva.
Okay, I should make the queen with my next thing. I could make a queen right now.
Make an
with
overlord
32.
if you haven't started one. You need to make an overlord because your overlord's going to be super late now.
Oh, sorry. I did make that one overlord. I think that you're referring to.
Okay. And then, so yeah, you would just spin the larva, and then the second you spin the larva, make the queen. But you want to make sure you definitely have that overlord in production.
Okay, I think I actually did screw up.
I would say make another overlord, because now you're going to be behind. So even though he hasn't popped out yet, just make another one automatically. And then make larva again into whatever you want to make.
You have not enough minerals.
And then now send a queen. Send that queen that's out right now to your third. Because you want to have a queen for the third prepared for it. And now make
Oh, so I have not made a roach warren yet, which is
yeah,
weird.
yeah, for sure. Pause the game really fast. Pause the game really fast. So, if you, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to, so this is where we got to talk about what you can afford. If you want to make a roach warren, like by now already, have it like be done, you cannot afford overlord speed. You cannot do overlord speed with the build like that. It will.
We're not done by now. I remember normally you say make a safety roach warren at about 3:30.
Okay.
Like create one.
So, I like you will be making it. You'll be starting it soon, but if you started it right now, there's other costs that are more important that you need to have over having a roach warren right at this point in time, and. I mean, obviously, you can tell
I have
me.
so much larva that's unspent, actually.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, and also, here's what you're about to do as well. You're behind on overlords. You need to, and the reason why is because now you're going to ramp up your queen production a little bit, which is going to increase that thing we talked about earlier. Your supply is going to inflate faster. And now you're also about to have a third hatchery being injected, which is going to inflate your supply again, even faster.
Oh, okay.
And you also need to make 2 queens in about the next 5 seconds to 10 seconds on 2 hatcheries at once, which is going to be 300 minerals as well. Like, you cannot afford a roach warren right now. You will make it, so basically the idea when you want to make it is going to be after your next round of larvae getting spent. And because you got to think about it like this. Think about it like this. This is really, really important to know this. You can't make multiple things that cost. Just I don't have to like give you a number there. They just cost things that are costly. You can't make multiple avenues of those things and then have them all at the same exact time. There has to be like stages and sequences. And if you want, and here's the way I would describe what I'm trying to tell you in an approachable way. If you want to go for, if you wanted to go for like 3-minute roaches, like 330 roaches, like, and that's just exactly what you wanted to have, that would need to be a build where you don't even get link speed. Like you just kind of just bypass it early on. And otherwise you're going to all in with your build. You're not even going to have the idea of making extra queens. You're just going to be only making roaches and have no creep spread. And then you're going to be doing a timing attack. That's the only way a build like that would actually work. So no.
Maybe that's why I've been losing.
Yeah, no.
I've been doing link speed and roaches and queens.
Yeah. So if you're making like link speed and you're just making like 4 lings and then you're making roaches, it's like, why are we getting link speed? It doesn't make it doesn't actually do anything for you there realistically, because like 4 lings deal with the Reaper, sure, but investing all the way to link speed just to go roaches is expensive.
Okay.
So you need to have a stage of the game, and this is where scouting comes in. This is why I was talking about perfect reactions. If you scout someone who's going bio, you don't even need roaches. Right. But if you scout, so you can still make the roach warren, and when you can afford it, and then if you just skip it and go, I'll just not bother making it now. It's not the hugest of deals for me. It's not going to be the end of the world for you. It's going to almost be like not that noticeable. But if you scout someone who's going for Hellions, and you go, you know what I can do now? I can be more larva efficient, because now I can, like, off of my little lings that I made, Like, let's say you made 4, and then when ling speed's going to be finishing, because you're also going to be making, if you look at your larva or your ling speed upgrade here pretty soon, you're going to be ready to, you're here really quick. You're going to be getting to the point where you want to make extra lings to deal with early harass. But off of, like, let's say you make 8 more lings and you have 4 already, so you go up to a total of 12. You could be like, cool, off of 12 lings, this guy's going for reactored Hellions. I'll make roaches behind that. That way I don't have to deal with, like, roaches can shove him back really aggressively, and I can really aggressively spread my creep or something. And it also would keep you extremely safe versus anyone who goes for Hellbat timings.
Okay.
But so I want to say, the last thing I'll say here is there's a lot more to it also than what we're talking about, because roaches are a very extreme form of defense. If you make, like, 8 of them also is a lot. I just want to throw that out there. Okay. I would say on average, if you scout someone is going to go for macro and they're not going to all in you, I would love it if you took the number down from 8. I hope if we talked about that before, it would have been maybe a basic number that we just threw out there. Like, oh, I guess 8's fine, but definitely make less if it's macro. And a way you can tell if it's macro is with your perfect scouting. And if with your perfect scouting, if you see, oh, 3 command centers, I don't need 8 roaches. I need maybe like 5. Like, just drop it down a little bit. Like 5, maybe 6, not 8. 8's like already kind of pushing it where you're going lings and roaches and 8 of them. That's a fucking lot of defense. So again, what we just talked about there, how's that? How anything makes not make sense? Or?
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense.
So just give you a plan.
Yeah, thank you.
Just to give you a plan of action again, just to remind you where we're at in the game. Make sure you check your gas if you haven't done that already. If you have Overlord speed on, like I think you started Overlord speed.
I think I started it. Yeah.
So make sure you don't have 2 on gas right now for a sec.
Okay.
Because you need to spend your larva and you want to not have your gas exploding like crazy.
Sure.
So fix your gas. Make your larva. Make Overlords as well, because you haven't started Overlords yet at this point. That we paused before you made Overlords, and I would say you want to make probably 2 now, because you're within 9 supply and you're about to spend about like 4 larva as well, and you're about to make 2 queens. So your supply is going to go up fucking fast. And then when your 2 queens are done, you might even make 2 queens again after that, and then, or you know, again, if you're gonna go roaches, we can go a little bit lighter on the queens, but
I don't mind skipping the roaches altogether. I kind of blindly made them because in general in the past, also in BDGM, it's like, hey, make the safety roaches, but when you play, you usually just do ling defense even against Hellions.
Okay, yeah. It makes it easier, honestly, if you don't always make the roach one. I'm gonna tell you right now, and the big reason why that is too is because if you're making a roach one every game, and your opponent just goes for an air harass, and you're like always going queen light, you're gonna be like, wow, this is really hard to deal with this. This fucking air harass is really annoying. So
I would rather just do it that way then.
Like lings synergize better with queens, they really do. Like once you get like upper levels, and I would say for you then, so let's not even worry about the roach one. Let's just say this: only make roaches if you feel more confident at going a roach warren defense style against a factory-based Terran. So a Terran player that goes for Hellion opener, and then with your scouting again, because you need, if you have Overlord speed, you're gonna be doing this a lot. It's mandatory to scout a lot if you invest to Overlord speed. You can't just do it once and just forget about it forever. Otherwise, because your build's gonna be behind if you're doing that. But the way you make the difference of you getting ahead is you make perfect reactions, because you're doing a lot on you're stretching your gas super hard right now, doing double upgrades early. So if you scout the guy with your Overlord and you go 1 factory, you can start the Roach Warren, and then if you ever see multi-factory, you can definitely commit to the Roach Warren a lot harder, because roaches are way better than fucking lings when you deal with mech openers. So much better.
Say it again. You said if I see 1 factory, like a reactor factory, I could start the Roach Warren.
Yeah, it's fine. If you feel like you want to have the option of going roaches against someone who opens up for like a factory, that's fine. Like we're talking about, I want to make this very clear. A factory that like, okay, let me say it like this, because I want you to know what a build looks like, and it's like this. If someone has like a factory and an armory, which is going to indicate this guy's probably going to go for Hellbats. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if someone has like a factory and a starport, and the starport has a tech lab, and you're like, okay, this guy could go Hellion Banshee, this guy could go Hellion BC. If it's something like that, and you want to make roaches to deal with something like that, you're more than welcome to do that. And you can make like 5 or 6 roaches, and then that would help a lot. And then the alternative would be you're not making banelings, you're making roaches, and you want to use the roach style instead. And then you go from there. And then if you see someone ever make multiple factories, not just one, but multiple of them, commit to the Roach Warren, and that's fine. Roaches are so good. Like, I always make a Roach Warren against multi-factory. I almost never make one against one factory, because I'll just do like crazy Queen Micro against Hellbats, stuff like that. But it's easier to use Roaches against Hellbats. But if anybody ever shows me two or more factories, I always make Roach Warren.
Oh, okay.
So Roaches are still effective. I just don't make Roach Warren by default every game, especially if they're not going for anything more than just like standard like 4 Hellions, then swapping it into or like 6 Hellions, and then swapping it into like a Stimpack Bio. You know what I mean? So yeah. if you were to see something like that, you could skip the Roach Warren altogether if your Overlord scout something like no armory, plus 1 factory, plus the factory is no longer on the reactor after about like 4.5 minutes, and now it's starting a tech lab to make tanks.
Yeah.
Then you don't even need Roaches. So with scouting, with your Overlords, you should be starting your scout here really soon. Like the scout on the top middle of the map, you want to be going into his base roughly around 4 minutes. And your Overlord speed should be helping you like pop in around a little bit after 4 minutes. So you could start going into his base as long as you're not going to fly directly into a Marine on the cliff of the base. You could start flying into his base, and then as you start approaching like towards the command center vision, you'll be like, upgrade complete, and then you're flying around super fast and you get to see everything. And then you can make a pass in his base about every 30 seconds to confirm what is it, like what's your transitions. So that's how Overlord speed plays kind of are. You do scouts probably every 30 to like every 45 to like really reconfirm what the hell's happening next. Okay. So again, I know there's a lot of shit being thrown at you right now, but how are we feeling?
It's great. Loving it. Thank you. Yeah, I this is really helpful because this is re-optimizing the foundation, and then I think I mean I need to improve at every stage of the game. So
for sure.
I can at least survive generally in the early game, but I'm glad we're doing this re-optimization because this will help it'll be better.
All right, so this game's just now. We'll skip the Roach Warren like we talked about,
okay?
Because we'll just assume you scouted something that doesn't look like a Hellbat timing, and you're like, I'm not worried about crazy Hellbats, and I'm not worried about multiple factories. I'm not worried about some dude hitting me with like fucking 16 Hellions all of a sudden with blue flame,
right,
or something like that. So for now the plan of action for you is going to be, once again, make sure your make sure your drones are only 1 on gas just for a second until you get your larva spent as a priority. So don't let your gas like ramp up to like 190 or some shit while you're trying to spend your minerals. So take 1 drone off gas. Make sure you're only on 1 drone on gas. Make sure your link speed and your Overlord speed are going on their way.
Okay.
Spend your larva on like 2 Overlords and the rest on drones.
Okay.
Get ready to make 2 queens on your... You're going to make a new queen as soon as the queen pops out on your natural, and then you're going to start a queen on your 3rd. And then right around then, take a moment to look back at your link speed, and when link speed is like 90%, throw down like 8 more links. Just because that would be like, if this was a normal game, you'd be safe versus someone who has like 2 Hellions running around your base, or 4 Hellions or whatever.
Okay.
And then from there, just make Overlords and drones.
Okay.
And I'll help you run through it, but yeah, I'll help you as we go.
There we go. Okay, so I already got 1.
Okay, good. Okay. And then make your queen on your natural and your 3rd. Make it Overlords as well.
We require more minerals.
Oh, okay. I prioritize the drones instead of the Overlord on that one.
Okay, so now honestly, I would say you need to make probably 3 Overlords, because you're capped already, and now if you start from capped, you need to recover. So remember that too. I always told you to make 1 when you're in. Actually, pause 1 more time. This is really important. This will hit more home for you if you're not in the middle of playing the game as well.
Okay.
So I told you a good number to go for is like once you go within the threshold, within about 15, make an Overlord. And that means, if you think about what 15 means, it's about 2 full Overlords. So you want to start one when you're within 2 Overlords worth of cushion to work with still. So if you block, that's why I told you to make 3 right now, because you still need to make the 1, and now you need to recover the 2 you're missing as well. So you make 3 to recover everything, and then you need to, as soon as you make 3, you need to try to get within that threshold again of being within 15 again or so.
Wow, okay. I see. So right now I'm gonna have. So right now I have one Overlord making now. That third
that's
Overlord
definitely
you're
not going to be
talking
enough.
about, right?
You're making one within
Yeah.
when you're within 8, and that's definitely not enough. You need to make one within 15, and that's a third. That's like your third going up. So you're behind by like one Overlord essentially.
Okay.
Like if you think about the idea of like, I need to be making one when I need to make one Overlord when I'm within 8 supply would be like, you are going to slightly supply block repeatedly all the time. But if you make one Overlord
Okay.
every time you're already blocked, you're going to instantly block again the second the Overlord's done.
Yeah. So right now I'm pretty much okay. So right now I actually need to make another Overlord, even though one is building.
You need to make 2 more. You need to have 3 in total because
Oh, okay.
you need, like, again, you're making 1 when you're at 0 supply cushion. What you should be making 1 when you're at 15 supply cushion.
Okay. Okay. So that means I need to be making 2 more right now. So I have 3 going.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
And then whenever you're ready, go for it. But I just want to I wanted to tell it to you that when you were not playing, because it would make more sense if you actually paid full attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Whoa, need more energy.
Right, and then
Lowback.
once you have your lords made, you can make your drones again.
We
And then
require
now you
more
can you have no larva, so now fill your gas up. And good scout, by the way.
A new queen has emerged.
So when you get a second, put the gas in your main on 2 more on the main.
Oh, I didn't. I took these 2 there instead of.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's
I
fine.
didn't-
If you make 2 divisions for it, that's fine. That's okay.
Wait, sorry. I should have listened to you before making those, but.
It's okay. It's just the idea is as soon as you're able to handle larva, make drones on your gas again, and you're handling larva pretty well now. So
Not enough energy.
pause one more time, really fast. Sorry.
Sure.
So now you're at a point where you need to make a choice with your build. Okay. So this is where
Okay.
your scout is going to be really, really important. You need to decide: is my opponent going to play macro? Is my opponent going to play all in? Is my opponent going to is he going to be like a 2-base, like timing attack type of Terran? Like what the hell is this guy going to do? Is he a tech-based Terran? Is he a battlecruiser guy? Like what is happening right now? And
Okay.
you cannot always make one reaction to all of these things because again, your build is going to be at a negative position because of how much gas you're taking early. Like it's going to be great for scouting, but you're not as far ahead as you would be otherwise. Because you're not fully capitalizing on minerals only, you're also utilizing gas. So now you need to make choices. There has to be branches that you go from in your build for you to realistically have good like control of the game going forward.
Okay. So what's interesting, by the way, is you seem to really be reinforcing that just the 100 mineral gas I spent on OV speed is like
It's pretty.
really
It's really a negative to your economy.
significant.
It is.
Okay.
It's
Interesting.
It'd be like this. There are people have been like that have been like, why don't you just get Burrow every game? It's a good upgrade. Why don't you just get it right away? Because it's fucking expensive, is why. And like the faster you, this is also why to combat this, I told you to get a 3rd base before you even spent any of your gas, because if you go for gas investments early, you're really handicapping your mineral income really hard because it's 2 reasons. It's not just because you're only mining with the gas with 2 or 3 drones. It's not just because of that. It's because you're also not only weakening your mining because of that right there, but that's only half of it. You're also adding in a cost you have to now afford with your minerals to match the gas. And now if you're doing double minerals and gas investment, or double investments of link speed, which is 100, and overlord speed, which is
Right.
100, that is fucking that plus less drones mining minerals is expensive. So
Okay.
there needs to be justification for how that's going to make sense, and it's going to slow your build down. But if you can make it work in a way that gives you edges, like for you, for instance, you go perfect reads, and now I have perfect reactions. It can justify the cost of how it gives you a negative. But now instead of having a situation where you go, I think he's doing this, and then he's not, and you're like, oh shit, I made a bad choice. I reacted wrong to what he's doing. That could be the difference of like if you were ahead economically, now it kind of balances out because you took a bad fight, because you made a bad choice for what you thought he was doing. But now in your situation, you go, I know exactly what he's doing because I don't have to guess because I have overlord speed. So now I'm a little bit behind where I could be, but now I can make a perfect reaction with perfect information, and it balances me out again, and I'll be totally fine. But if you make a bad reaction plus have perfect scouting,
Yeah, I mean,
then you're fucked because you're double negative
Yeah.
because
Okay.
you invest for that.
Okay, so where we are at now, though. Okay, so I guess we can assume like we can pick a build, like we can pretend that he's doing a certain thing, right?
Sure.
So
Let's just. I would say
something that,
pretend he's doing
yeah,
something standard would be because you're gonna play that the
yeah,
most.
that's perfect, exactly.
So
So, mhm,
okay. So basically, we're gonna assume he's gonna be the kind of guy that's gonna go like biotank medevac, and let's say he's got a third command center as well. He's not gonna be a 2-base all-inner. So he's gonna be like doing a like he still will. That means he still could be aggressive, but he's not gonna like all in you and just parade push you, and that's gonna be the game. So a good reaction to this would be, I would recommend, if you ever see a third command center, take right now when you're really well saturated, because right now you have 16, 16, 12 on your mineral lines. So right about now, when your money starts going up, and you're like, oh, I got my larva spent, but I have my minerals are starting to explode because drones can't spin it anymore because they're generating it too fast. I want you to
Right.
do this: make a 4th base before you take your
Okay.
gas. I want you to also make a macro hatch before you take any more gas. So your immediate reaction is going to be 4th base and macro hatch, and like your main base or something. So you're going to be working
Oh, okay.
with 5 hatcheries on 1 gas. And then as soon as you do that, I want you to make a round of lings. I want you to, because you haven't made your lings yet. You still have 4.
Right.
So I want you to make lings, get like a healthier number of lings. I also want you to make more queens, because you're playing really greedy right now, so you need something to be able to combat shit. So queens are going to definitely be a useful thing for you.
Okay.
And then I want you to, so 2 hatcheries, make lings up to about like 12 or 14 or something, and then constantly make queens out of everything but your main base. And then I also lastly want you to make a layer out of your main. And once you can afford all of that, and once you make your lings, immediately go back into making drones. And the second you start making drones again, it's gonna be a little technical here, I want you to re-rally your hatcheries to the bases that they're according to the mineral line that they're at. So re-rally main to main and re-rally natural to natural. And when you start making drones again, I want you to take more, like I want you to start making gases with drones that are in the red. So if you have 17, 18, 19, grab 2 of them, make gases. So like, do not make gases and drop your mineral line down below 16. Just make gases the second you start going in the red, and make all of them as soon as you have enough drones to do it. So you're going to make your main and natural gases faster than your third gas, is what this means. Because your third has 12, and your main and natural have 16.
Yes, that makes sense.
So,
I'm
yeah.
prioritizing 2 hatches, lings before the lair.
Yes. So you make layer after. So layer is like the last thing you do after all the opening shit. It's the least priority thing. You go hatchery.
Because it's tech, I
Yeah,
guess.
you go hatchery, lings, queens, drones, layer.
Oh, right. Okay.
So larva, the thing this kind of correlates to is you're setting up for future larva, which is larva's priority, and you're spending existing larva's priority. You do not you do not make tech a priority over larva.
Right.
And then we're going crazy on hatcheries too, because you're going so heavy on minerals right now, and if you're scouting someone's going for a standard build, this is going to give you a crazy amount of Ling Bane to work with in the mid game to deal with people who do timings and shit.
Cool.
All right, so whenever you're ready,
All right.
I'll run you through it again. I'll say it one more time while you're doing it.
Sounds good.
so
Okay, so I'm just gonna take.
Hatchery at your 4th. Do another macro hatch as soon as you can afford it, wherever the fuck you want it to be. Main's totally fine. Re-rally your hatcheries to their bases, and then make gases with red. So you actually made drones already with your 3rd. Oh, so you need to make lings. Sorry, you need to make lings so you don't get fucked by like hellions or something. And then as soon as you're in the red, make your gases and start your layer.
Need more energy.
Okay, and keep
Whoa,
in
need more energy, little guy.
keep spinning your larva, and keep making those gases when you're in the red. And then look to mouse over your junkyard really fast. You're aiming for about 66 to 70, somewhere in that realm of drones. You have 66, so make a few more because you got to make a couple tech buildings too. So go up towards like 70, and that'd be great.
Okay.
And then once you can, keep injecting, keep spinning your larva, and once you're at like this, once you're done with 3-base saturation, start making lings nonstop. That's the goal. And then start your baneling nest, start your double evos as well whenever you can. Now that you have good drone counts, and you also need gas at your natural too.
Unacceptable command.
Okay, and then make a couple more drones for your natural too, because you're going to be under now. And then keep making queens too. We also skipped making queens here. So that's why your money's also getting a little bit higher here. And now, grab 2 queens. And so pause the game actually really quickly one more time because it's going kind of fast. This build's gonna go fucking fast. It's gonna be, you're gonna be like, Jesus Christ, I gotta keep up with it. It's crazy. I have so much to do. So
That's cool.
what's gonna happen now is you want to keep making queens because the way it's gonna go is you're gonna be able to grab your creep spreading queens, and you're gonna take 2 of them off around the time when your macro hatch and your 4th base are like 60%, 70% of the way done, and just send those queens to those bases. And those are now going to instantly start inject. You're going to have 5 hatches injecting 5 queens injecting 5 hatches as soon as they're done. And from that point, you're going to have crazy amounts of larva pumping into your economy, and you're going to be able to spend it. And then obviously, and then now you're going to want to keep, if we're talking about larva again, remember this, you're no longer going to have 2 hatches like with the example we gave you earlier, injecting.
Oh, right.
You're going to be now going a little bit crazier on your overlords. So now every time you inject your bases, you have 5 hatches. You're going to need to be making probably 4 or 5 overlords per round of inject because you're not making roaches. You're making lings, which are cheap on the supply, but you still need more overlords than like 2 overlords or something every fucking, or like 1 overlord every 15. You're going to be needing to make probably like 1 overlord every time you're within like 24 to like 30 supply thresholds now, because your supply every single 30 you're gonna be like wave of units, big wave of units. It's gonna go crazy now, because if you think about it like this, you're no longer gonna have 12 larvae every 30. You're gonna have 5 times 6 every 30, which is 30 larvae every 30. So it's gonna get a lot fucking faster.
Wow. Okay, makes sense. So what you're saying is, yes, I need to be pumping out like 5 overlords at a time. And then other question is, now that I'm going to have 5 queens that are injecting queens, if I get, let's say around 7 minutes, I come and get attacked, are you ever pulling off your injecting queens to help the fight?
So here's why. You should have hydras by that point in time. And so then this is why we're taking our layer when we take it. So what we're going to do with our layer, this is the overall goal of what's going to go on, is as soon as you're spinning your larva, and you're going to be spinning your larva when you're already basically fully saturated on, like when we paused the game last time, you were already mostly fully saturated on all the mineral lines. And you actually, you had more drones in production that I didn't even know you had, because you had 12, but you actually suddenly went to 21 on the 3rd. Yeah, you had like 9 more drones that were popping onto the 3rd base. So you fully saturated really fucking fast, and that's great. That's what you want to do. That makes you have lots of money, and it's really good when you can generate lots of money super fast. And then as soon as you could afford, now you can now make the extra hatcheries, the macro in the 4th base, and it does not disrupt your larva because you're rich as fuck. And then you take your gases, and it doesn't disrupt your larva because you're rich as fuck. Then once you add the gas on, now you start adding on all the tech stuff. And the layer is initially also, like I said before, once you initially spent your larva, before all the gases were running, you made the layer. It was the last priority, but you still made the layer before you have like 500 gas in the bank or 800 gas in the bank. So like the layer was still early, but it just wasn't you don't make it first over like the macro hatches and spinning your larva. But when the layer's done, like as the layer is progressing and you're like, cool, all my mineral lines are great. I have 66 drones actively mining everything on my 3 bases. Meanwhile, now I also have, while my layer is under construction, a baneling nest is started. Double evos are started. Layer is done, immediately make a hydra den. Because I can afford it. It's not going to be a problem anymore. You then can make, once you have all your tech, and you're doing this off of full saturated 3 bases. Once you have all your tech and it's all ready to go, then you continue to just crank out lings, add some banes, lings. When the Terran shows up for an attack, he's going to get fucking swarmed by a ridiculously large army, ideally, if you're keeping up with the build. If the Terran's playing standard, because this is actually great for you, because if the Terran attacks you, you have a crazy amount of larvae that's not going to be expected, because you have 5 hatches with 5 injects, which is kind of nuts. Because you're not, here's the difference. Instead of having hydras with hydra speed and hydra range, and you have like, let's say 15 of them, but you only have like 30 supply of Lingbane, the difference for you is going to be, you're going to have like maybe half as many hydras as the other build would, but you're not going to have any upgrades on them at all. You're not going to have speed
Right.
or range when he attacks you. It's just going to be basic Hydras. So they're a lot shittier in the form of what Hydra's going to provide. But you're going to have like triple the fucking Lingbane supply. So
Wait, so sorry, and just so normally by 7 minutes I would have 15 Hydras.
well, no, so like don't think too hard about an arbitrary number of exactly 7 minutes. The point I'm trying to make is the difference of like what these builds would represent.
Yeah,
And one build is like crazy fucking Lingbane. You have overwhelming amounts of Lingbane, and one build is a lot less Lingbane, but the trade-off is you get faster Hydras and faster like supporting like properly upgraded Hydras. But if you're not fighting like a bunch of speed Banshees or like a bunch of like air units that need to be managed, it doesn't matter if you have a really crazy investment in Hydras. Like in terms of like they're like as good as they can be right off the bat when the fight happens. Like you don't need really upgraded Hydras to deal with Bio running away from Banelings. The Banelings and the Lings are going to deal with that either way. And the tanks, same thing. Lings are going to swarm and kill tanks like crazy. And if you have enough to just make a tsunami wave of Lingbane over his army, it doesn't matter if you have Hydras or not. The Hydras are really there to just like kill the medevacs, essentially. And like you don't even need to micro them. Like they're just going to be A-moved, literally.
Okay.
So it deals with standard play Terran really well. And what this build can do, here's what this build does, which is really effective, which is why I'm kind of recommending this to be your build versus standard.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to take a fight against Terran, and when the fight happens, if you've done a good job macroing and you have like that what we talked about, like a tsunami of Lingbane just crashing over the Terran, you then go into having a drone wave where you now can instantly saturate your fourth base off 5 injected hatcheries, and now suddenly immediately 85 drones. You expand again. You can even double expand at that point because now you need to maybe transfer drones from existing bases, and you have crazy amounts of larvae. And you can literally remax. You can go to ultras or whatever the hell you want to do as well, while you do that constantly, or lurkers or whatever you want to do. So it's just a style that is crazy high larva efficiency, which means it provides really well for really inflated high amounts of Lingbane, like really fast.
I guess it really so I'm gonna have to watch my injects, otherwise the whole thing falls apart.
For sure, yeah. You the 5 and here's the thing too: if you ever have a problem with your money, if you play this build and you're like, God damn, this build is like it's taxing me like crazy, you're more than welcome to make another macro hatch in your main, or natural, or wherever you want to put it. Main's easy, I think, because it's the biggest area that's just like unused terrain. And you can put another queen on that hatchery. So every time you go to your main, triple inject it. So now you have another hatchery being injected with another queen.
Oh, okay. So I guess our goal here was we reached 66, or I guess we were reaching pretty much 3 base saturation. You're saying I can focus on getting my wave of lings before we're teching and getting some army before we are ready to saturate our 4th base.
Yeah, if you prioritize saturating, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you saturate your 4th base against Terran, and you don't make lings, like you're still rocking like 12 lings, and you're like, oh, let's saturate my 4th now, go to 80 drones. If he attacks you, you're probably gonna die.
Right.
Because you won't have a tsunami then. You'll have a lot of drones, but you will not have a tsunami of lings.
Is this where? So I remember once you mentioned in a different build, a rule of thumb: once you're 3 base saturation, get yourself to I think 120 supply.
So that's
army.
beta GM. That's beta GM, yeah. And that's not necessarily exactly what you're doing here, because ling styles work a little different. Then like the beta GM build is literally just passive greed, and it's just like that's all it is. Like you never do anything else. But if you, for instance, are making a lot of Lingbane, and let's say you're creep spreading, your creep looks monstrous, it's great, and the Terran is like refusing to move out. He's just like, I am sitting here defensively. Well, that's something that you can see with your overlords, right? And the only reason why the Terran would ever do something like not move out, that would ever make sense, is that he's expanding, and he's going to defend expansions. And because if he just doesn't expand and he doesn't move out, and you've expanded and you are also making an army, it means that you're just, every second that goes by, you're always mining more than he is, and you're just getting ahead. So if he expands and you've made a large ass army of Lingbane, you're more than welcome. If you get really high supply, like we're talking like 150 supply or something, and you're cruising on good creep spread on lots of 5 injected hatcheries happening, you could do a timing attack yourself now, and you could go for a crash on his economy as well. So you could hit like his natural plus his 3rd or something at the same time, and you could blow up a fuckload of his SCVs and economy and stuff like that, and you could still maintain Lingbane production. And what this will do for you is it could force counterattacks. And if he counterattacks you while you're still cranking Lingbane, you then could kill his army on creep with the like if he counters into you, and you've been making army again, and you have another big army of Lingbane. You kill a new army now, and now you can just now you can do a drone wave. So you never do a drone wave if you sacrifice army to kill workers. Never do that. If you make drones while you're losing lings and he's not losing army, you're gonna die. But if you kill army, you could absolutely make drones. And most Terrans will attack you. That's just the meta of how Terran goes, and the reason why that is because if Terran does not control creep, they're losing the game. They're like, oh god, this creep is already at my base, and now I have no room to work with here. I'm just gonna die. So creep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
That's helpful. They're pretty much pressured. Like the onus is on them. They pretty much need to do that. So what I'm trying to do is survive that one moment. So I'm unlocking a drone window after.
Yep. And what this build does too, which I'm telling you to do a lot, is you're making a lot of queens, which makes your creep spread even faster, which puts faster pressure on them.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, that makes sense. So, because where we are right now is now that I have 5 bases, I'm gonna reallocate my creep spreading queens to those other 2 hatches.
Yep.
And I have 3, I think, new queens being made right now. Those will become creep spreading queens. And then since my layer is done, I need to start upgrading my melee and carapace and
melee carapace. Yeah, melee carapace, bane speed, and make your hydrogen.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And the hydrogen would be made like the second your layer is done, because the reason why, not always would you do that in other builds, but the reason why it makes sense in this build is because you're going for a delayed gas investment with crazy. That's why I told you don't make gases until you're in the red. It's crazy mineral investments, so you can easily afford it now because your hydrogen is you're not going to be like, oh, I can't afford hydros because I can't spend my larva. Like I got to make choices here. You're going to be like, I can afford everything all the time now when I'm layer, and I won't be able to spend my money properly, and that's where macro hydros come in, because you literally need them, because you can't spend your money otherwise, because you're going to be rich as fuck. You're like swimming in money at that point.
And slight tangent, this build could still apply if I scouted battle cruisers, right?
Yes.
Because I have master queens.
You exactly 100%. That's why that's 100% on the nose why I told you roaches early instead of queens. They're kind of going to be scary for you, but if you go queens, now you can deal with air units too. So exactly, that's 100% correct. I'm glad you acknowledged that.
Cool. Okay. Well, I guess I'll start to do my tech and make a wave of army.
Yep. So yeah, exactly. So right now, you would need to at this point be ready to start your upgrades on all of it. Link Bane, or the Bane Link Speed, and also the 1/1 upgrades. Make your hydrogen as soon as you can, and try your best to maintain good creep spread. Try your best to maintain no supply block, and try your best to also look at your money periodically and go, fuck, that's a lot. If that is a lot, if the answer is, oh, that's a lot, make another hatchery, either at another base or a macro hatch. Okay. Don't be very liberal with taking expansions with this build. Like, do not.
Oh, be very liberal.
Yeah. Sorry, I said do not. Then fuck that sentence. I'll throw it away. Be very liberal. So yeah, sorry, I said that weird.
Okay. I think I understood what you meant.
Yeah. So if that was like written in text, people would be like, wait, what? But so just try to always make sure you're always making sure that if your money's high, you're giving yourself enough larva to spend it. That way you can actually tsunami lings repeatedly. And then always remember, in a real game, your next drones that ever exist from the point of where you're at now is only when you kill army. That's it. You have to kill army to unlock the next drone wave, because if you don't, you're literally risking a loss here, because if he attacks you right when you make drones, you're going to be like, fuck, shouldn't have done that, and now I'm probably going to die.
Okay. And when you say right here, meaning we are right now at 3 base saturation.
Yes. Yep, exactly.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go.
Yep. So upgrades, make lings, don't supply block. Just creep spread. So make hydrogen. Make your upgrades.
Okay, and then
make a couple overlords and spend all your larvae on lings.
That mineral field's gone. Don't spend it all. Your forces are taking damage.
And spread your creep. Get all your hatcheries injected. So 5th base and macro hatch being injected. And then stop making queens around 9. So right now you're probably done making queens now. Like anywhere between 7 and 9 is great. Also, fix your gas and your natural.
Not enough energy. A new queen has emerged.
Okay, you know, actually, I have a problem with this. Okay, one second. Let's stop here for a second.
Sure.
Okay, I have a problem here. So the way I do it is all my injecting queens, I put them on hotkey 5 because I don't want to lose them.
Okay.
And then all my creep spreading queens, I keep them on 4.
Sure.
And then, of course, like in this case, when you told me to transfer my
I have an
creep
idea
spreading
for you. I have an idea for you that'll help you. I think I know where you're going with this. If I can tell you really fast.
Yeah, sure.
So, if you have, let's just say hypothetically, you have 4 creep spreaders and 5 injectors. Or sorry, no, you have 3 injectors and like 6 creep spreaders. You have like, let's say you go to 9 queens, like I said. You have 9 queens in total. So 3 of them are injecting and 6 are on creep. What you could do.
Well, I guess I'll have 5 right now, right? 5 injecting because I have 5 bases.
Well, yeah. I'm just giving you a hypothetical again of like an idea of like how you can make this work. So, if you're looking, if you are on 9 queens and you have 3 hatcheries already being injected and you want to add 2 more to that to now go to 5 injecting and 4 creep spreading, an easy way to do that would be literally tell 2 queens, go, hey, like this is where green box would come in. Okay. Green box queen, run to the main. Green box queen, run to the 4th base area. And you could even do this off of the mini map. You don't have to actually do it on the hatchery. And then green box those 2 queens as they leave your existing creep spreaders, and then hit Alt 5. Like hit 5, shift those 2 in, Alt 5. And now they're out of your creep group and they're in your inject group. And you don't have to worry about being like, fuck, okay, which hotkey is which? And like if I move my creep now, it's going to rip them off the hatcheries. Because I'll tell you right now, the way I saw you doing it is if you make a new queen at the new hatchery to inject the hatchery, that is a waste of time. You want to make sure... Or go ahead, sorry, you go.
Yeah. No. Okay. The way... Okay, I think similar to what you're saying maybe is... So, for me, it's very simple. I have 2 queens on creep spread. I click on them, and all I do is hit Shift 5, and those 2 are now a part of my injecting group. And it's very simple for me to now inject. The problem becomes that I have 5 injecting queens right now, and what I just did is I made 3 new queens. As soon as it says a new queen has just been birthed or whatever, I'm trying to run to the base and figure out which queen just got birthed, and I want to Shift F4 that to put it onto my creep spreading group.
Okay, so do this.
And that takes some time.
Do this. Green box them, and tell both of them to move off the hatchery, and then immediately hit 5S. And it will make your injector stop moving immediately, and it'll make the non-hotkeyed queen keep running.
Okay, that makes and I mean, okay, that makes sense. That's so usually the queen that pops off is looking vertically down, and it's easy to identify.
Sure,
but
it always spawns bottom middle too. It always spawns bottom middle every time. Like the very, very center of the bottom hatchery is where the new queens always spawn, and they always work their way from bottom middle to the right side, to the top side, to the left side, and then back down
as
like
they
the
are
clock.
spawning around.
Yeah, they go from like 6 o'clock, and they go counterclockwise back to 6 o'clock again. That's how they spawn.
I think the other issue is, okay, so I just heard him say a new queen has been birthed.
Sure.
I don't know which, and if I try to press the last action key, sometimes an overlord has just spawned, so by now it's not going to jump to the queen. So I feel like it takes too long to figure out which.
Do you have camera
hatchery.
hotkeys?
Yeah.
So
I do my first 4 bases.
Keep in mind too. This is something too that you should. This will also, I think, put your mind at ease in this situation. You're not going to be making. You shouldn't be making queens still when you're at the point when your macro hatches are done. Your queen phase should be done by then. Like you should be. You should honestly only be making queens as well off of your natural and your 3rd.
Okay.
And if you're like, God damn, like I don't have.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, if you're like, I just don't have enough queens right now, it means what did you miss them? Like, did you just not make them for a full minute or something? Because you should have them done by now. Because if you can make 2 queens a minute, and you're making queens 2 at a time off of natural 3rd when they're done, and by the time they're done, you already have 3, going from 3 to 5 to 7. And I said, like I was saying before, 7 to 9 is totally fine. I would say 7 is standard. 9 is what you'd go if you scout like, oh, he's going BCs. I need a couple more, just to make sure we're good here. That's about what you would stop at. So you could literally just use natural 3rd to be the queen maker hatcheries, and you'd be done making them by the time you're like your layer's done, and you're starting your hydrogen and you're starting your upgrades. You should already have the queens done by then. So then all you're doing then is you're ripping queens off to go back to inject now, rather than consistently making new ones all the time. Because at that point, if you keep doing it like that, you should have, like, if you were like always making queens all the time on all the hatcheries, you'd be like, I have like 17 queens right now. It's a lot of queens.
That's actually really helpful. So the best way to make queens off of only my natural and my third is to click on them from the bottom of here, or do you have a?
It's
Is there
about
another?
I can't see your camera if you're moving your. I see it on pause right now, but yeah,
Yeah, or yeah, you know, like when
no,
if I
it's
select my hotkeyed hatcheries, I'll see like 5 hatcheries down here,
yeah,
like
yeah.
one green box per each.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Would I just click on each one and press the queen button?
So, I mean, yeah, you could like, I mean, whatever you want to do. Like, you could hit that camera hotkey and your natural and your third, and you could be like queen
Oh,
queen.
and do that. Yeah,
That also
that's
works
true.
too. It doesn't matter where you make them. Honestly, it's just, uh, like, if you're injecting as well, really, really on point. Another way to tell which queen is the new one and which queen is not the new one is this would be a good indicator for you.
Oh,
Is
the
you
energy.
could literally just go green box inject one time, and then or you honestly, so like let me, like I was about to say it in a way that you could make it even easier. You could literally just go okay, or actually no, sorry, it doesn't work that way because you have a hotkey, and I take it back. So you look look at the energy. Whatever queen has less energy is going to be the existing one, and whatever queen has more energy is going to be the new one. But I think the easiest thing for you to work around your hotkey thing is literally just camera hotkey make queens. Do not make them off of the control group. So
I think
camera
that's
hotkey,
a good
yeah,
idea.
camera hotkey natural, camera hotkey third, make queen, and then always make a sequence of going. I always grab queens from natural third, always from natural third, never anywhere
Yeah.
else.
Cool. I like it. Optimization. Cool.
Yeah, and that'll
So
help you a lot. I think.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, no, but yeah, and then from there, going forward in your build, this is talking about the future of the build now of like not like your droning. Drone phases are based off of aggression of what happens there, but your
Yeah.
build itself, you would start an infestation pit when you have 1-1 finishes and you start 2-2. Remember to pair that with infestation pit, and then
Okay.
as soon as infestation pit is done, which is going to be about 30 seconds of build time, remember to go back and start a hive. And when you start a hive, you start that also with a lurker den if you want to go lurkers. And if not, you then when you have a hive, you go like ultra cavern or something.
Okay.
And here's a cool piece of information I would give you. I would recommend to you. If you're fighting against a Terran who goes Widow Mines, make a lurker den. If you're fighting against a Terran who goes tanks, do not make a lurker den. Just go ultras. It's so much easier to go ultras against tank Terrans.
And if they're going half tank, half Thor?
So that if you're talking about like straight up mech,
Yeah.
if they're going mech, I would recommend that you do a roach based build. Like we talked, that was what the multiple factory thing. Just abandon the whole idea of Lingbane Hydra
Okay.
and just go roaches, mass roaches. Like just change that in instead. You go roach heavy with roach speed until you have like about a good healthy amount of roaches to have. I would say is probably about like 30, but this number would increase if they're constantly aggressive and you have to keep like trading armies. So, but like
What I normally see is BC. They start off with like a couple BCs for harass and then transition into tanks and Thors.
no, for sure. But like so here's basically this is be the sequence of your army: roaches early, into like roaches initially into roach hydra, like but when you start going hydra, you don't keep making roaches. You just use whatever you have left.
Okay.
And then it becomes mass there's making hydras only, and then you also add in swarm host. If you do that,
Oh, interesting.
like if your army just turns into hydra swarm host, it's so fucking strong versus mech.
Okay. Oh, cool.
And then you just would literally like here's a number to remember, okay? Doesn't have to be that, like, we don't have to go into a huge explanation here. Just remember, always make 16 swarm host. Do not go above that. Do not go below that. It'll give you enough supply for other things, and it's enough supply for swarm host to be effective. If you make too many, a swarm host gets shitty, and if you make too little, swarm hosts aren't effective either. So
Okay.
16 is like the magic number, I would say. And then don't be weird about it and be like, I'm gonna do 3 locust of 3 swarm hosts here, 2 swarm hosts there. Some people are like, I'm gonna send a little bit everywhere. Just have all
Right.
16 slam a base every time. So you send
Okay.
all the whole wave at one base at a time and just assist it with your hydras.
Oh, cool. So Viam, I'm looking at the time also.
You have a lot of time. We started at 140 or 140 PST, so we still have 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, I guess because doing this max out, I really wanted to do as well.
Yeah.
But I guess it doesn't look like we're gonna have much time for actual laddering.
We can bounce into a game right now if you'd like.
You think so? Okay, although I think if we do that right now, what we just did, since we just did it once with explanations in between,
Yeah.
I guess I'm wondering is if we should jump into a ladder game, or it might be worth to redo the first 5 minutes.
Whatever makes honestly, whatever makes you more comfortable. But I'll be in your ear the entire time. I think the next
Okay.
time though, what we should do to make it a real session, like a real practice moment, is no pausing. Just, we explained a lot this time with pausing, but no pausing
Sure.
next time. You just try to keep up with it.
Okay. I think I would say maybe doing this the absolute right way would probably be maybe we restart this one time and just go to the first maybe 3-base saturation or something.
That sounds good to me.
And then we can jump into it. Unless you want to extend this coaching session for more laddering. I don't know if that works.
I probably will. I'll probably just do the 2 today. 2 hours.
Okay.
I don't think
That's
I can
fine.
do 3.
I know it's a bit much.
No, it's because
okay.
I have a schedule today that I if I do 3, I'll have 0 laddering going on, and then because I got to play WoW, like raid stuff later.
Okay, no problem. I'm very keen on scheduling something as soon as possible again because I think I need some of this reinforcement.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. So I would say, I guess jump out of this and then jump into another new one. I'll walk you through it one more time, and once that's over, because that won't take 30 minutes. Try playing a ladder game once, like maybe do it 1 or 2 times, whatever makes you feel comfortable, and then try playing a ladder game.
Sure. Let me use the restroom for one moment.
Sure.
Though.
No worries. Yeah, take your time.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, and for anyone out there, okay, I want you guys to understand that this is a lesson that's a little bit more higher level. This is like Diamond working towards Masters. So, what I'm telling him right now is not universal information to everybody. What I'm telling him is specific to preparing for Masters League and also Zerg vs Terran. This does not work in Zerg vs Zerg, and this does not work in Zerg vs Protoss. If you try to do either one of these builds at like upper diamond to going into Masters, playing this way against Zerg or Protoss, you will die a lot. This is a very specific to Terran conversation we're having. So the thing about it is if we play a ladder game after this, and if he doesn't get a Terran, we can't do what we just talked about. So unless he wants to like leave the game or hopefully get a Terran, it would then work. But it doesn't work against Protoss, and it does not work against Zerg. It's been very insightful so far. Hey, I'm glad. I hope so. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. It's definitely a really strong way to play against Terran, though. There are builds you can do though that are more generalized that you can do against multiple matchups. But yeah, this definitely wouldn't be one of them.
Hey ZvP, thank you for BTGM. Playing SC2 is so much fun now.
Yo, Maxwell, thank you very much for the 10, and I'm glad to hear that, man. Hell yeah. I'm glad you're having a good time with the game so far. Much love, dude. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. And yeah, I'm gonna tell him that too. I want to make sure he understands too that this is not universal, because we really went heavy on the Zerg return today. So when he comes back, I'll inform him what I just kind of told you guys. And when he sees the VOD too, he'll obviously see it too. But people sometimes get carried away where they learn something and they might try to apply it to a lot of things, and you can't. Welcome back.
Thank you. By the way, thanks so much. You know, I love I just, even though sometimes we're doing a different thing each time, and sorry if Twitch is getting bored that we're just talking here.
No,
every second is really, really helpful that we, go over. So
no,
thank
for sure.
you.
Yeah, no worries. My stream is so used to it by now with like coaching and stuff. I do it so often. I think people like hearing other people's experiences because it like a lot of Zergs out there could be like, oh, I find this useful to me too. I'm learning a lot as well.
Yeah.
One thing I was telling chat though a second ago, which I'll make sure you realize, I guess, or you make sure you know, is make sure too. A lot of stuff we talked about today is this is a very specialistic Zerg versus Terran build. This would not really work very well against Protoss or Zerg if you tried to apply it to those matchups.
I see. So you going okay, I guess against Protoss, for example, are you referring to the part where, or I guess where do we deviate?
So
where does the deviation start?
you would against Protoss and Zerg, like against Zerg specifically, if you were going this crazy on minerals only, there's a lot of ways you can die to a lot of roach timings, a lot of baneling timings. It's gonna be fucking super hard to not die there. So you would take faster gas, and you would not go so mineral heavy. And against Protoss, same story again. You would have to take gas faster against Protoss, and the whole concept of what we talked about at the start when we talked about the Roach Warren, that would be something you would do every game against Protoss. Roaches are something you like at 330.
Oh, okay.
That would be like the standard. Like, okay, well now I take my gases a little faster. I have the Roach Warren at 330. We got really heavy in Terran discussion here, and like we talked about like the proxy rexes. We talked about like speedling timings of like what if there was a command center here. This is very specialistic to Zerg versus Terran. So this build fucking destroys Terran. Super good. And we talked about the differentials of mech and bio. But I really want to make sure you don't use this build against Protoss and you don't use this build against Zerg, because if you do, you're gonna come back to me and be like, Vibe, your build sucks, dude. Like I lose all the time. And it's like,
so
yeah,
against
it's
Protoss, against Protoss, I still want to do the OV against with ZVZ. I don't need to do Overlord. We can stick to
let me
standard.
Let me tell you the difference of what you do against Protoss. Okay, really fast. Like we'll make this really like quick, just fucking fast. Not go for like an hour of discussion here.
Yeah, sure.
With Protoss, you could leave 3 on gas the entire time. You could leave 3 on gas until you get link speed and until you get Overlord speed, and then rip 2 of the drones off of gas for a sec. And that could give you a faster scout, and it could give you a faster link speed to deal with like things like adepts harassing you. And it does not matter if the Protoss has a natural or whatever. And against Protoss as well, you could stop making roach or queens, at 4 queens. You could be like, cool, I'm gonna go to 4 queens and literally stop. And this is going to be my 1 creep spreader and 3 injectors. And then I'm gonna have if I do scout Stargate, I can make 1 spore per mineral line. And then the only time you would ever want to make more queens than that is if like a follow-up Overlord went into his base and you were like, holy shit, this guy has like 3 void rays and he's making voids constantly. And now I just need to start making queens to react to this. So I can rip existing queens off hatcheries and like group them up and make new queens as well. And I can just make sure like by the time he gets to my base, I have like hopefully like 6 or 7 queens that can zone out his initial voids before he kills my hatchery with like overcharged prismatic alignment. And then like buy you time to get to like hydras. But if it's more of a standard Protoss, you can literally just make roaches and go into like a roach opener, and then turn that into whatever you want it to do, like Ling Hydra Lurker off of initial roaches. But the reason why roaches are really effective is because roaches help a lot at dealing with many things Protoss can throw at you, like sentry-based all-ins. Roaches can be turned into Ravagers, and you can survive. Charge a lot all-ins. Roaches can be tucked into choke points. Yeah, exactly.
I get that the most, especially if they do a warp gate into the main or something.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And then if they do like charge lot all-ins, you can like tuck yourself into mineral lines and stuff, and roaches can be very effective against charge lots. Mass adepts, roaches are super effective. Roaches beat adepts 1 versus 1, and they cost the same amount of supply, and roaches are cheaper. So the only thing about adepts that's scary is their mobility, but if you have enough roaches, you can deal with it. Another one that Protoss can throw at you is like, I guess, a more just not really so much an all-in, but like a harass based thing. Like he can any version of what we just talked about, but it's more or less just like a little bit of it to harass you, like 5 adepts to harass a mineral line. Roaches can shut that down super easy, especially if they're assisted with some lings or something like that. And then easy peasy. So the timer of 330 Roach Warren is really, because I think that might have been what we talked about last time too, is we did a ZvP specialistic lesson more. Yeah. So that is definitely for Protoss. This lesson today has definitely been for Terran, just to throw it out, just to make sure that's very clear here. And that's kind of how the game's gonna have to develop for you too. You can't have like one build that works all in all matchups. Sure. You got to definitely diversify your playstyles as you get higher in skill, because it requires that. It's not so easy then. Like people will punish you if you just do one thing all the time, because there's nothing that is always good in all 3 matchups. I'll say it like that. And then, versus Protoss, you could turn it into kind of like what we talked about last time. I would say definitely, like what we talked about last time, 100% still applies to like Masters League and stuff like that. Like going into it and playing throughout that, because there was a lot of good information I remember from last time we talked. So like instead of like reiterating what I said before, I would say if you want a recap on Protoss, definitely check that one out again for more ZvP specialistic
Sure.
stuff.
Okay. So then actually, even though it would be cool to do this here, I think we probably have, it may be better just to jump in the ladder since otherwise we'll be running out of time.
No, we could do a quick prep. If we go like a few minutes over, it's totally fine, dude. It's not a big deal.
Okay,
I've
thank
never been like, I'm watching the clock and you got 19 minutes.
Sure. That's true. I want to be mindful of your
No,
time.
I get you. I appreciate that. But yeah, let's do a quick prep. Do a quick prep game for yourself, and then yeah, we'll go into a ladder game after that, and hopefully we'll get a Terran.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay, so here we
Good
go.
luck. Have fun.
Also, I guess if you're cool with this, if there's any Terrans who are in the Diamond League realm of skill, if you're a Terran and you'd be willing to help us to guarantee we get a Terran, if you want to do that, Brown Ranger,
Oh, yeah.
we could do that as well to make sure we get a Terran player, because we do need it for what we just talked about today to make it make sense. We need a Terran. All right, so 16 hatchery. Yeah. And then make your drones up to
We
18.
require more minerals.
Not enough minerals.
Saturate that one patch that has 3 to 2. So you have a patch in the middle with 3, and you have one of the there. Perfect. Yep, exactly.
Thank you.
And then remember, take one of your drones, rally all the drones to gas, all 3. Take one off at 60, and do not make an overlord at all right now.
Oh, thank you.
Make drones all the way to 21 supply.
Okay.
So
This 20th drone is going to my third, or
yeah,
it's
20
just-
drones going to third, 19 drones going to gas, exactly. And then rally right now, rally your hatchery to your natural. That way the next drone you make is just going to go to the natural. So make one more drone. And now save for 4 lings and 2 queens. And then after you make 4 ling, 2 queen, make your third immediately. So third after queen ling. And now take a drone of gas. Because you don't have, this would be when, if there was a natural, you don't need to prioritize gas.
Oh yeah, I need to remember that.
Yeah. And you made ling queen. Now make a third. Now make an overlord right after. So third,
We
then
require
overlord.
more minerals.
So overlord right now. And then make drone up to 28. And then make zergling speed.
We require more minerals.
And now ling speed.
I only have. Why do I have only 2 on gas for some reason? Oh,
Because
I
it
took
took
one
you,
off.
took one off, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, you want to keep it this way for now.
A new
And now, creep tumor, make drones, make one overlord, and make drones. So
right now make an
Make one
overlord?
overlord. You're gonna block if you don't. Yeah. Yep.
not enough minerals.
Make drones. And then,
Oh,
now you make a queen when you can afford it. Now your larva spin. And now as soon as your queen gets started,
We
you'll have
require more
just enough
minerals.
money to and just enough supply to go past 36. So right now, I would say go to 36 and immediately make another overlord again right now. So an overlord again right now.
You need more minerals.
And then after
In my
overlord,
day,
make
we
overlord
mined
speed.
8 minerals at a time. You have not enough.
Take one more drone off gas. Because now you got overload speed as well. Now, look at your ling speed. What's it look like? Do you need to make lings right now? It's if it's about done, you need lings because this is when Hellions would be hitting you. Yeah, you should, so if you make, I think you just made lings, you're good to go. Now make drones again. And good job sending the queen to the third. Make another queen out of the natural. And make, now always be within 15 supply. This is when it starts. 3 base.
Okay.
15 supply
So I need to
thresholds.
make overlords.
You make one now because you're within 12.
Minerals.
So make an overlord and then make drones. As long as you have one started, it's fine.
Whoa. Need more energy. My
Evolution complete. Need
Okay.
more energy.
Good job. Keep making drones.
Your forces are under attack.
And now you're spinning all your larvae, and you're not really having a problem. Put 2 drones back on gas. So now, as soon as you start hitting the 0 drone marks, 2 drones would go
Okay.
back on that gas, and you're good to go. Now you
Am
can,
I ripping them off, or am I
no,
putting
you
new ones?
just put new ones on. But always maintain 16. Never take it off. And then keep making drones.
It only
Need
make-
more energy,
And
little
now,
guy.
keep making queens too, exactly. Only at a 3rd natural, and keep making drones. And now, as soon as you have enough money,
You need more
do not go
minerals.
layer
In
first.
my day, we mined 8
hatchery
minerals
at
a
4th
time.
and hatchery at macro. So you're gonna have the money really fast. It's gonna go quick. So get a drone already going to your 4th base,
Need more energy.
and get a drone getting ready to be built as a macro hatchery in your main, and also make an overlord if you haven't already, because you're gonna block again. It's gonna start getting real quick,
Oh, okay.
because your money's gonna fucking explode now. And now once you get your larva spent one more time, this is when you'll go
Have
for
not enough minerals.
all gases with red saturation, like excess drones make gases, and you make a layer.
Not enough energy.
Spin that larva. Keep spinning that larva. It's priority. You didn't spin larva on your 3rd at all, or there you go.
Oh shit.
Now make your layer, and then as soon as you make your layer, make your Bane nest and your Evo and your double Evo, and then make 2 more queens one more time, and this will be your last 2 queens. And that would be great.
You need more minerals. In my day, we mined 8 minerals.
Keep making drones. You're not done yet. Also make overlords because you're gonna block.
Oh shit. Yeah, yeah.
No, it's okay.
I would have been supplied forever if you had not mentioned that just now.
Yeah, you gotta look more up there. You gotta glance at it a bit more often. Like make an effort every like 15 seconds or 10 seconds to look at top right. Always,
Okay.
always like if you do just think to yourself, 15. Like as soon as 3 bases are set up, 15 supply rule, 15 supply rule, 15 supply rule, 15 supply rule. Always think to yourself and check,
A new queen
repeatedly.
has emerged.
and that way you won't block. Like if you make an effort to look at it a lot. So you're
So
upgrade.
I'm actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Nope. I think I'm at 66 now. Yeah.
Okay. Now this is when you make Lingbane. Inject your hatcheries, all of them, all 5.
You're under attack.
Keep spreading
Oh,
creep. Keep spreading creep and make overlords. Now, what I said before, as soon as you have 5 injecting 5 queens, now you need to make like 4 overlords a cycle, 4 to 5 overlords a cycle, because it goes even faster now. So now you want to have like 30 supply thresholds, 24 to 30 supply thresholds, somewhere around there. So
I see. Yes,
yeah.
I need to make overlords right
Yeah,
now.
exactly. Just make it easier and just be like, if I'm within 30 supply of my max, I need overlords until I get maxed out on overlords. Because each round of inject that pops off, you're going to be cranking crazy amounts of larvae. So fix your main base. It's down by 2. So make 2 more drones for really fast because it's going to affect you. You have 2 drones fucked up on your natural as well. Just send those to your 4th. That'd be fine.
Don't spend it all.
Don't take that gas. Do not take the gas right now. Too early.
Okay.
Don't even touch that 4th base right now. Just make lings and make banes as well. Like make probably like 30 banes right now, like a lot of banes, like a whole page of them. There you go. Oh, I love it. That's good shit.
That's very satisfying.
And keep making lings. And if you get to about 150 supply, and he has not attacked you yet, get ready to start looking to attack him because 100% he should have a 3rd by now if he has not attacked you. And this is when you keep making ling bane, but you only go for economy if you attack him. Do not go for his army. Like, send someone to his main base or his natural or something, and send someone to his 3rd base and try to multi-prong it and kill workers. Because if you effectively do that, he 100% counterattacks you, and that means that you get a fight on creep next time. So assume this is a guy who's just macroing and sitting there. Keep making Lingbane, and do not hockey them when you make them. Let them sit at your base. Do not make them all go into the attack constantly. New Lingbane gets ready to absorb the counterattack, which is sitting at your base. Only use what you have in the fight right now, and that's it.
Evolution complete.
So keep making Lingbane, keep injecting. And now get ready. Take a second and look at your upgrades. This is also when you probably want to start 2-2 and get ready to go into Infestation Pit to get ready to go Hive. So start Infestation Pit too. And now, do you have the Baneling speed as well? I saw you didn't have Baneling speed in the fight.
Oh, I think I did do it.
Okay, so it should be done then. It would just finish like you'd want to hit around 150, and that's when your Baneling speed should be done. So remember that too. If you're ever engaging at 150 supply, and your Banelings are waddling in super slow, that means you're you probably fucked up your Baneling nest or your timing of that somehow.
I also forgot overlords again. I need to really look up there,
It's okay.
or at least have
So
have it.
overall, you have crazy high supply with Ling Bane pretty fast. Make sure too, though. One thing I think you might have skipped is Hydra upgrades. Make sure you don't skip that. That way, because you'd want to use Hydras as not part of your initial attack on his economy, but you'd want to use them as part of the remax later on. Like if like
Okay.
you make him, if you force him to attack you on creep, you'd want to have him then with that army. You just don't need to feel like you need to rush Hydras with this build unless he's going air.
Got it.
Yeah, and then once you take a fight, because just actually pause it because I want to explain this concept because I want to make sure this really makes sense.
Wait, where are my other queens? That's weird, but that's fine. Okay, I think I just spun them off.
But I want to make sure that this is super clear because I don't want you to always think to yourself that you have to make nothing but Ling Bane from 66 drones the entire game. And I know I've said this.
Sure.
I know I've said this to you a lot already, but I want to make sure this is one more time really clear about the concept of how it's supposed to go, because it will go this way all the time. If you are going to get attacked by the Terran, that's easiest case scenario. You fight on creep, and ideally, if your macro has been good, you take a good fight and you defend yourself, and then you make drones, and then from there, at 80 drones now, you control the game forever with aggression all the time. Now, if the Terran does not attack you first, and you attack him first, ideally around 150 supply, only with what you currently have, let all new units sit at your base, and this means you're probably going to be attacking him with like maybe 50 Lings and like 40 Banes, or 50 Lings and 30 Banes, like a pretty decent attack. You then move at his base with that, and all existing eggs. So here's a really easy way to do this as well. If you're going to attack Terran at 150 supply, and let's just say hypothetically, you have 20 eggs currently in production, but you want to go now. Right click everything in your base, and then like alt click the Lings off of your eggs, and then make only the existing units go attack. Do not wait for things to trickle across the map. That is not how you want to do it.
Oh wait, so
like you don't
yeah,
have.
you're leaving all the eggs are now not in your not in your attacking hotkey.
Yes, you do. Like you want to have the majority of your army for the second fight, not the first fight.
Okay.
So you don't want to have little remnants of army keep continuously running across the map and dying, because if you do that, it's going to weaken your counter absorb.
Are you hotkeying your army that's sitting at your base as they're arriving there at your rally point?
I am up until the point when I want to attack, and this is like, because if the guy decides to eventually attack you, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm glad I have all my shit on one hotkey and it's all been the eggs are added in because I can use it defensively. Defensively, that's fine, that's great, but aggressively, if you're going to, because again, the concept I want to make sure you really understand is, when you attack him, when I say around 150 supply, you're not trying to kill him right now. You're just trying to piss him off so he attacks you on creep. You want to kill his SCVs. You want to avoid army, go from like angles like left and right wide so that you can be like, I'm coming in the side of your mineral line. I'm also coming in the side of your mineral line on the natural from like the edge of your depots. I am not just running through the middle of the map. I'm not trying to take a fight with you right now. I'm trying to kill your workers so that you go, ah, fuck, I gotta go and attack you now. I gotta like pick up and go now because I'm losing now because I just lost all my economy. That's what you want to happen. So a good way you can do it again is an easy way you can do it, like I said before. Another way, it's super simple, is if you have group 1 has 60 Lingbane and it has 20 eggs that are not done yet. Say group 1, go over to the top side of the map or some shit, and then like alt click your eggs on like group 2 and say, eggs, stay at my base. That way when you spawn, you don't go across the map because you're going to be late anyways.
Oh wait, when you say alt click, you mean they're still on everything is still on the same hotkey? You're just telling them to go somewhere else?
So when you alt click it, it deletes it from one group. Like alt number it.
Oh, you mean alt? Yeah, alt hotkey.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, alt hotkey is what I'm trying to say. So you delete it from the fucking existing Lingbane that are already there. Because if they're not going to be in the initial poke, they're going to be wasted. They're just going to die after the fact, and that's a waste of your fucking your counter defense essentially. So you send what exists already across the map. You attack the Terran's economy, and then you rile them up by killing a bunch of workers, ideally. That's what the goal is supposed to be. And even if you don't even kill workers, a lot of times Terran's going to see you fail an attack and counterattack you. That's what in their mind is going to trigger that. It's just how people play the game. So then what you do is you're cranking out Lingbane constantly while you're doing this attack. And if the Terran attacks you with on creep now, because he goes, I'm going to now attack you because you just failed an attack on me, whether or not you killed my SCVs or not, my army is still here, and now I feel the need to go attack you. It happens all the fucking time. And if he does, let's just say he's that one random guy out of 100 that doesn't attack you, do the exact same thing again. Grab a little bit of Ling Bane and go wipe out economy again and make him counterattack you. You don't have to send your whole army because, again, you're not trying to win the game with that. You just want to make him walk on creep. And then when he walks on creep, then you go, some of my army go to the top, some of my army go to the bottom, and let's fucking sandwich his ass really, really hard with a large tsunami of Ling Bane.
Okay.
That's how it's supposed to go. So I want to make sure you understand that concept. You do not try to kill him aggressively. You kill him on creep only.
I see. And then, yeah, because once he's lost his army, now I can swarm his base.
Yeah, it was exactly 100%. Now, exactly. If you kill his army on creep, you have the best engage possible. That allows you to have a moment of breathing room where you can not only make drones to really ramp up to max drone supply.
For the first engagement.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when you can then make drones when his army's dead. But also, that's when you can now not waste time and go around the edges of the map. Just fucking dive his base with whatever's left over. If you have a lot of stuff left over, because you're going to take a good fight because he doesn't have an army now.
Okay. And the Evos, the actual upgrades on the Evos, we started as soon as the Evos.
Yes. You do
were
not.
built?
You do not wait. Like, so we're delaying with this build. We're delaying your gas stuff by going mineral crazy. So when you actually do finally start investing in the gas stuff, there's no delay. You need to do it ASAP every time you can do anything that you have there because you have plenty of money to afford it. This build, if you were to look at like a graph of this build's economy, imagine a graph that like slowly has like a 45-degree angle for the first like 3 minutes, and then it has like a fucking straight line up and down after that. Like it fucking explodes with your economy.
Sure. Okay. Okay, one last question is, this, let's say that, I'm trying to think, there's a point in the game, I suppose, early on where we may realize he is not going marine tank.
Yep.
And he is instead going, I guess he's going something else where we need roaches.
Yeah.
So the point at which we start deviating is or I guess because right in the beginning, right, we were trying to make queens. We couldn't make the roach warren because we kept building queens.
Yeah.
So are we
So
just,
you
reduce the queens?
You can make a roach warren as a priority the second you see an armory, or the second you see a second factory.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, that's what you were saying.
And that's going to be off your scout, which will give you a reaction plenty of time before it hits you.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, so what should we do now? What?
Yeah, just jump in. So I don't know. I didn't really see anyone say I want to play.
Volunteered.
Yeah. So I guess we can just try to play a Terran game on ladder, and then hopefully you get a Terran. Hopefully.
I've been playing
Okay.
SC2
Okay,
for
thank
4
you.
weeks
Oh, come
now,
on,
and
Twitch.
your
It's a Friday.
B2GM series
What are
has
you
got
guys
me
doing?
to diamond already. Thanks for making such a great guide.
Okay.
Yo, thank you very much, 900 ELO. Thank you, man. But yeah, hopefully we get a Terran. We'll see. And then if it's up to you. If you want, I mean, I guess you could leave the game and try to get a Terran again after.
Sure.
It's your call.
I
know
am fine. Okay.
It's tanking your MMR a little bit though if you do that.
That's okay. Right now my MMR is already low. It's like 3,000 something. I don't know.
Let's just hope we get Terran. We have a 1 in 3 chance.
All right, here we go. Lately it's been pretty even. What are the odds? Or I guess we know the odds. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, you got a Zerg.
Okay.
It's up to you if you want to leave or not.
Yeah, sure, we can quit. That's fine. He's gonna be like, it's one of those. It's one of those dudes.
He's smurfing. He's tanking his
Always-
account. This guy's really 5k MMR. Yeah. And I guess, I don't know, if you want to end up just trying to play a ZVZ or a ZvP, we can just kind of wing it with that if you want to play as well. But it's random.
We can do a random.
Okay, well, this is the drone. We'll do the drone thing, okay? That we talked about earlier. 13 drone, go scout. We'll talk about that.
Oh, sweet. All right, little bonus.
All right, so saturate, send your alert across, and rally. As soon as you send your alert, rally the egg right now as well. Up to his base. Perfect.
Oops, I just made the wrong thing.
It's okay. Gastric. So Overlord first, and then Gastric. And then do not initiate Gastric until you're at 70, because you don't want to have a bunch of wasted trips in mining time. So do it now with a drone, and then build a drone, immediately cancel gas, go back to mineral line. Perfect. And then hotkey or scouting? Oh, you did already. You hotkeyed the scouting drone.
Okay.
And then this one, keep making drones for a sec. Go to 18. So, because your drone scout's going to be a little bit, it's going to change things. Now, check really fast, and go up to the ramp really quickly. Now, if there's nothing here, okay, there is something there. You can make a hatchery. You totally make a hatchery against this. There's not a proxy. If it was proxy, that's when you got to be scared. So make sure you send a new drone. So first send a new drone to go build the hatchery. That's really priority right now.
I think sorry, I thought I did, but I guess I
So
did
no
not.
worries. You can definitely scout him more with that drone if you wanted to, but you don't need to as much. It's not that big of a deal. You can base this in with like Overlord scouting now, because it's pretty standard what he's doing. He's going for pylon gateway in the main base, so he could very realistically expand now, and your Overlord will confirm that later. You can base this now off like your Overlord scouting, and you'd be totally fine. Because you're not getting cannon rush, and you're not getting proxy gated, and you also know what race he is now too. So make drones, and then on this one you're gonna make a little bit of a, because you're gonna keep mining gas against this type of thing. You're gonna take a third, but you're gonna take it later. Okay, this is why I'm saying it's don't rally the drone to the third. That's a ZvT thing, with the ling speed type shit. This is going to be a little different. You can't really go crazy gas and also take third base super fast, even though you will still take a third.
Okay. Wait,
So make your queens, and now you see he expanded with your Overlord, so now you know exactly what he's doing. He's playing a macro game with you. And I would say pull the Overlord back. Pull the Overlord back. Don't let it die, because if you're going to let the Overlord die, it's not worth it for Overlord speed. So get ling speed.
Spawn more Overlord.
Your hatchery's gonna finish. Make an Overlord too if you haven't made one already. Make two queens. Make a couple drones right now. If you made lings, that's okay. I don't know what you just made, but
I know I only made drones.
okay, good. Because you'll make lings in a sec. It's Protoss, so we can't really punish you. Now send a drone to your third base, and you'll take a third round 30 supply roughly. So make your drones. Take your third base. Okay, and then take 2 drones off gas right now. Take 2 off. Because now start Overlord speed as well. After the queen's done. And then check his third, or check his base while you make drones. Just see what he's doing at his base. Like, get a little bit of read. You gotta get some idea what's going on there. Don't send your Overlord in though, but just like go back to the cliff and just like take a glance at what's happening. So it's an adept. So make lings now, because adepts could be a problem for you. What building was that next to his nexus as well? You didn't see what it was.
It was a robo.
Okay. So make another queen. Get your queens set up to get ready to go up to 4 queens in total. Make lings too, because he's coming at you right now with adepts, and those lings could deal with those adepts with.
Where the hell's my Overlord? I think I'm making an Overlord when I'm.
You can make it lings right now. So your 12 lings is great.
We must place that
Now,
creep.
inject your hatchery first, and then send it to your third base for your natural. And you did. Perfect.
Evolution complete.
Now, make a roach warren and keep making drones. You have plenty of lings to deal with that. So make Overlord, make lings. Alright, sorry, make Overlord, make drones. Overlord and drones.
I got a lot of excess minerals.
Yep, it's just because you're starting to, you're gonna spin it faster now, but you're getting supply blocked here and there, and you're spinning kind of slow, as a result of that. So keep droning, and now as soon as your natural is fully saturated, put 2 drones back on your main gas, and now you can have perfect scouting. Yeah, perfect.
Our forces
Watch your lings. Don't let them die. Get out of there. Keep droning. Scout his base now, and keep inject really quick, and keep spinning your larva as you go through the base. So you see a forge, and you see so it's like +1 adept timing or +1 zealot timing. Take 2 more gases at your natural, and fix your gas in your main. And I would honestly say take a gas in your your third base or your other gas in your main. Go up to 4 gases in total. Start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Start a layer. Make all your drones right now. All drones. This timing is gonna hit you about 6 minutes, okay? And you need roaches non-stop being made around that time, but you want a good economy before it happens. So now, from right now, no more drones. Now you make nothing but roaches. Fix your gases. Rip drones off mineral lines and fix gases. and making a fourth gas. You need a fourth gas with this too. We'll talk about this when the game's over, but make a fourth gas. And I'll explain why I'm telling you to do everything I'm doing right now for you. But the point is, this guy's not taking a third base. He's going to all in you. You need to make roaches now from now on. Make overlords. Make like 3 overlords. Or 4 overlords.
Need more energy.
Fix your gas in your main. You have 4 on it. That's kind of being a waste. Take 1 off. And then immediately start roach speed in about 5 seconds. As soon as the layer's done, immediately make roach speed. Okay, keep spreading creep and make roaches. Now, go check his third base with a Ling or an Overlord. You gotta have a... Okay, so now he's going Stargate. So this guy's build is fucking weird. It's fine. Now what's gonna happen is you're gonna keep making roaches, and as soon as you have roach... Make roaches non-stop until you have roach speed. And as soon as you have roach speed, you're gonna make the most of this and go kill his third base and make drones behind it and transition to hydras behind it. He's doing a fucked up build, and we'll talk about this as well after, and we'll help you make sense of it. Keep injecting your bases. Your queens are getting kind of fucked up. Good job. Keep spreading creep. Keep making roaches. Keep making overlords too.
Oh shit! I need a freaking. I need like a.
You're all good, dude.
I need a shock collar.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you to look at it constantly from now on. So spread your creep. Inject your hatcheries. Look at your supply on top right. Every time I say look at supply, that's gonna be a judgment call from you from now on if you need to make it or not. I'm not gonna tell you to make overlords. I'll tell you to look at supply though. Look at roach speed. What timer on roach speed? If it's done, you need to go. Okay, it's about done. Stop making roaches. Look at supply.
Yep.
Send roaches across the map to third base. Start making drones. Fix all economy. Take all gases. Take your hydrogen. Take all economy now. All of it. Look at supply. Make creep spread. Inject your hatcheries. Send all roaches across the map. Look at supply. Look at third base with your roaches right now. Get ready to micro. Look at third. It's priority. Okay, good shit. Kill this base. There's not much here. Focus fire shield battery. That's overcharged. Look at supply. Spend larva while fighting this. Send army into his army. Like, go attack that. Go back to your army. And, like, dive on his immortal. And use all of your roaches. Like, maybe use your hotkey or something.
I did miss micro that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now back up, back up, back up. Don't lose this anymore. Look at supply. You're good. Okay, now make roaches because you don't have a hydrogen yet. Yeah, the hydrogen's a little late. It's okay. Fix economy in your main base, like all your bases. So your main base is still fucked. Natural third base is still fucked a little bit. Make roaches though, because he's about to counterattack you. Start, because like you're having a major gas problem because you're missing 3 of your gases.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I need to remember that.
So keep making roaches because the only way you're not going to die here is if you have roaches. Never have to look at supply again because you're always maxed out now. So that's not even a thing anymore. It's that phase of the game's over. Just make roaches because it's the only chance you have. Okay, he's turning around. You can see it on the mini map. So make drones now. And try to keep him defensive with roaches, but don't engage to a fight. So now what I want you to do is I want you to stop making units. Start making drones. Okay. No more units. Go poke his base, but only to kill a 4th base. Try not to take a fight. Try to just make him feel defensive. Like you're going to all in him, but you're really not. Make a Hydra den, or you already did. Make a Lurker den and start getting Hydra upgrades. Watch your army. It's dying at the moment. So run away from that, and you can like kite it. Maybe pick off an Archon or some shit, but make your larva as a priority here, okay? Like this is your economy needs to be fixed as the biggest and most important thing so far. So make your economy. If you don't make drones right now, you're gonna lose anyways. You're having some problems at that base.
I'm having some hotkey issues.
Okay. It's all good. No worries. No, you're all good. Your drones aren't mining anything at the top of the map either. They're following a drone right now. All the drones, like half the mineral line in your top base aren't even mining. They're just following a drone. Okay. So now you'd want to be making hydras behind this. Now that your drones count's kind of done. But your drones are so fucking lopsided. You have like 25 drones at one base and like 8 drones at another. So you got to fix that as well. But you got priorities here to deal with the zealots as well. So you got to send some zealots here. Send some hydras to deal with the zealots. Keep making hydras. When you get a second, fix your fucking mineral lines. You have a fucked up mineral line at your 4th base.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's like we have like 30 drones almost at one base and 8 on another.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so you're totally having a fucked up economy here. And then keep making hydras. You can maybe defend this. Just relax.
Okay.
Fix your economy. Take a hive. You need lurker upgrades to progress from this point in this game. So you have way too many drones on that base now. You have way too many. Just take like 15 seconds to fix all your economies. Just look at them, go main, and then make 6 drones right now, 3 per gas. Like make 3 drones, put them on a gas. Make 3 drones, put it on the gas. Look at your natural. Take 1 off. Now go to your 3rd base, put it on that base, put 2 more on the base, and put 1 more on the gas. Go to your next base, rip off 3 on that bottom gas, and rip off 5 off, like 8 off the middle line or something, and put it on the new base you just made. There you go. Put it on the new base you just made. And now you're good to go. Economy's good. Now make hydras.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And then at this point now, get drones. Go back to the 5th and put drones on the gas. You really need gas. So you don't have gas because you don't have gas at your top middle base. It's just not saturated. So just rip off and put it on gas. There you go. And then you fucked it up by 1. So or did you just fix that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now make hydras and try to defend yourself. You have a main base attack happening as well at the same time. This is always look at the minimap when an attack happens for a brief second. Send your units down to go defend your main as well. Like send an army down to defend the main, and you can green box some army to stay at the top to defend Archons. There's also a unit, I think a Phoenix behind your 3rd base, but I think you're fine. Okay, make a new lurker in. It's getting focused down right now, so just make a new one in preparation for it already. Make new drones for your main. A lot of drones died. Fix it. Okay, that's plenty. Now get upgrades on your Evos. And here's a cool thing you can do. Take your army and send it up to the top, but take like 4 hydras and just like unhockey them and leave them in your main where you're putting spores down. Because this guy keeps hitting you with a prism in your main base. If you just leave hydras sitting there on the cliffside, you'll deal with it. And do that. And so now fix the natural. Take a new base and fix your natural. You have like 19 out of 9 or 19 out of 8 on the natural. So way over. Put them on the new 5th base. And go defend the 5th base as well while you're at it.
And you said I have 1919.
You have 19
on which one?
a natural. Your natural is way oversaturated.
Your drones are under attack. My baby.
Okay, let's go back to your main as well with your army after you defend your top base. So send your whole army to defend your main right now, and then green box like a 3rd of your army and leave it at your top base. That way you can have both sides defended at the same time.
Hey, your base is under attack. It's a trap.
And then mouse over your drones. Tell me what you're at really fast.
87.
Good. You're totally fine. Just start lurker upgrades and eventually deal with these zealots. And start lurkers as soon as you can. Start like 10 lurkers. And defend your main. Probably make some more drones now because you just probably lost quite a bit there. And now what I want you to do is I want you to take a moment, just like you did earlier with the drones. Take a moment, make 1 spore and like 4 spines at every single base. And make them all nearby the hatchery. Do not spread them too far out. 1 spore and 4 or 5 spines. Every base. Good. 1 more. There you go. That's fine. Same thing at the other base. Same thing at the next base. Right now, make a bunch of drones. Just make a bunch of drones for the... Like, make a new base and make a bunch of drones for that base. And defend this really quickly, too. Keep making... Don't look at it anymore. Go to your 3rd. Go to your 3rd. Make spines right now. And take that base and go to your 3rd. Make spines and spore. Optimize your time. Spine, spine, spine.
I really need to get better at this clicking, but that's fine.
Okay, now next base, spine, spore, spore, or 1 spine. You got it. You know what I mean. And then same thing here. And now, where's those lurkers you just made?
Oh, I didn't make them. I just upgraded it.
Make it again. Make lurkers right now. Make like 12. And now, here's in a second here. I'll explain something, but now I want you to check your drone count. What are you at? Are you at like 90, 80?
80.
Make like 10 more drones again. And now I want you to get ready to make spines and spores just like you did on everything at your next base. The brand new one you just made.
Got it.
Spread your creep for a second if you can. Check your upgrades as soon as you're done with that, and check your injects as well as soon as you're done with that. So you did. I think you just did injects. Honestly, queue up your injects really fast. You have so much energy, just queue up some injects. Be like spam it in on the hatcheries. Do your same thing next base, and then same thing next base after that. Okay, and now go defend your main. Go defend your main right now. You see it on the mini map. Go defend the main right now. Now, what I want you to do as soon as you defend this is I want you to plant 1 lurker at 3 different bases, and I'll explain what they are in a second. Just defend this first.
Your forces are under attack.
So now, okay, you're fine. So now, while you have a second, take 3 lurkers out of your hotkey. Unselect them and make them just something you can green box. So you can alt them out or shift click them out or whatever.
Back home.
Put 1 in your main. Put 1 in the base in front of your main on the left side, on the low ground.
Field depleted.
And put 1.
One's over here. Where's the next one?
Next one, go to the left a little bit, left and up. The base below your main, but not your natural, like the top left of your main, because it's the most exposed base. And now, and put static D there too. You need static D there as well. So put put the lurker on the low ground though. Put the lurker on the low ground, not there.
We're running out of
In the mineral line, like at the new base, exactly, like brand new base you have. Defend top base really fast.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Defend your top base really quickly. If send all your hydras and roaches up there, because all your static D is gonna die now.
Wait, why is my shit not hotkeyed anymore? Okay, that's fine.
And now make new drones. Just make like 20 more drones again. And now put a lurker at the base that just got attacked. Just 1 lurker, leave it there forever. Because this is what you call triangle lurker defense. He's always going to do run-bys at those 3 locations repeatedly. Fix static D at the top base and the bottom base that are your exposed bases. Because the static D just died at that base and you haven't made it yet at the bottom base. So make static D at those bases.
unacceptable command.
Make like 5 spines. 3's a bit on the light side. Okay, that's fine. Also, put him. I would say you need to put him a little bit more in your mineral line. But now, don't even defend your main. Don't even fuck it. Don't even care about it, because guess what? Your lurker static D is gonna deal with that. Now I want you to do your upgrades. I'm just making a point for you here, but yeah, you could still defend your main, but it could defend itself. So you could don't attack. Do not attack him. Do not fucking attack. Go home and defend. Okay, go home, defend. You can get rid of the roaches. That's fine, but yeah, you should definitely defend yourself. But if just now, from now on, all you're doing is making sure you have enough spines at every base. And have 5 at the bases with lurker, and have about 3 or 4 or something, that's fine, at bases that don't have a lurker. Defend top. Go top right now. North, he's attacking you. So make hydras, make lurkers, and go defend north side. So let's take a second and just breathe and go, okay, what do I need to do? Take a queen and creep spread. You need more creep, and you need to zone out his army. You also need upgrades. So take a second and make sure your upgrades are not being neglected. You have 1 of your evos actually died. So start a carapace upgrade right now because he's going sky toss.
Engaging the opponent.
Your carapace upgrade is definitely a priority here. And another carapace upgrade, or another range open upgrade too. Don't do both on 1 though. Definitely make a second evo for the second upgrade. That's way too long for both on 1. And then,
Where's my Evo that I just made?
there you go, send your natural. Make another base in bottom middle and send all those drones at your natural to the bottom middle. Remax hydras. And then always do what we talked about before. Lurkers first, hydras behind it.
Good job never skipping.
Bait lurkers and have hydras kill interceptors off of them. Get rid of all your, also now, take a second and get rid of your roaches. Literally go suicide them. They are fucking waste of your supply. And it's, yeah, just hydra lurker. And try to go for about 10 to 12 lurkers and then all hydras. Okay? Okay, your drones are dying in bottom middle. It's okay. Zealots are currently killing them. You'll have to make more. Do not worry about bottom middle. Static D deals with that. Go deal with carriers. North. Go north.
Okay.
Go north.
Go north?
Yeah,
Here?
yes. Go north. No. North, like your base. He's attacking your base right now. He's in the fog of war, about to kill your top base. Go zone him out and defend it. Your static D will be fine at dealing with the zealots. For now. Okay, you need about 10 lurkers.
Your forces are taking.
Okay, now he's not engaging and he's going further in the center of your base, and now you can use your hedges to defend that because it's closer to your army. Also, you need hydra upgrades. You don't even have hydra speed, I don't think, right now.
Oh yeah.
Attack my babies.
Okay, start upgrades on Evo Chamber. Retry to expand in bottom middle. Because you need to make economy continuously flow into your base. You need to make sure that doesn't get neglected for too long. Try to creep spread. Okay, top middle. Watch minimap. Get your lurkers grouped up. Defend your lurkers with hydras. Behind lurkers with hydras. You need definitely more than 3 there. And then you're good to go. Kill those interceptors like a fucking boss. Get rid of those roaches too if you can. You have them still in your army. Try to send them to suicide. Okay, that's opportunity. Take your lurkers up burrow. Go push top middle. All his interceptors just died. They all just died. Go attack right now. Go attack the top middle, like the 12 o'clock base, not the like 8 o'clock or whatever, or the like 11 o'clock. Like, because he's probably got a base there. Watch your army. Burrow your lurkers in front of your army. Okay, he doesn't have this base, so now you can now push the base below it.
Okay, I should not engage. Should I be retreating?
No,
right
you
now?
can attack. You can totally attack. His interceptors are so fucked. I'm gonna tell you. It takes like a minute to replace carriers for interceptors. Make sure you bring your lurkers. Do not ditch your lurkers, but don't overdo it. Like lurkers first, Hydra second. Okay, you're losing some lurkers. Make like 6 more lurkers right now in your fight. Take your time. Just take a breather. Make lurkers right now.
I'm at max supply.
Okay. So it's fine. Fuck it. Just work with what you got. Check your upgrades really fast. What's your carapace look like in your main? Can you start a new one?
You're engaging the opponent.
Yes, you can. Your main's fine. Or I think are you actually okay? Your main's not fine because you upburrowed all your lurkers and you have no lurkers defending your base anymore.
Oh yeah. I accidentally rehotkeyed
So
them.
that's yeah, that's something you want to try to avoid later on. But worry about this. Kill this base and then go home and fix everything again. Kill this first. It's opportunity. Just kill it and reset. Kill this Nexus and then go home. Don't worry about that right now. Just kill the Nexus and get the fuck out of there. Like now, up row, leave. Go home right now. Now when you go home, check your drones. What are you at? You need to be at about 80 if you're not. You have drones on hold position in that mineral line too.
60.
Take that mineral line that you just looked at. Green box it and mine the mineral line because yeah, it was all in hold position. So go defend your main. Send 1 lurker to the outer 2 bases on the top and bottom, and 1 lurker to your main base.
Our drones are under attack.
Well, like we did before. That way you can always have a lurker helping you out. Make like 40 drones right now. Make all your extra supply in drones, and make spines as well to fix any base that is low on spines. Because this guy loves counterattacking you, so punish him for that.
Unacceptable command. Mineral field
Okay,
completed.
and then fix your economies. As well, he's attacking top middle. Go top middle too. You got to pay attention to this too. Go north and defend,
yeah,
defend your
sorry,
base.
sorry, I
It's,
was
o-
like, let's
it's okay.
Wow, you're capped out. Time to make some room.
Okay, don't worry about it. Just remake those drones that died. Do not make Hydras again. You can still 100% win this game. Go defend your bases. Rebuild immediately. Get your Hydras to go kill the carriers, but get a drone rebuilding the bases that die immediately. Stutter step on his carriers right now if he wants to play this fucking greedy with them. Like you don't even need to kill interceptors anymore. They're kind of depleted mostly. Get on yeah, there you go, perfect. Stutter step. You can punish more of them for that. Don't attack yet because you're having some macro problems too. Just give yourself a second. Go home, fix your shit, put a lurker down at new bases. So the lurker now needs to be at the 6 o'clock base because it's the most exposed base. A lurker
I
needs
don't
to.
need to put a lurker.
You need 3 lurkers. You need 3.
Okay.
One is always in your main.
Okay.
One is always in the exposed base on the bottom, and one is always in the exposed base on the top. Imagine if there's a border, what is the first base he's going to hit? That's where
Right.
one lurker needs to be, because he's always going to run there first. So if a lurker's there, it's going to make it really easy.
Minerals back home.
Fix the static D at those bases too. Well, 1 spore and like 5 spines or something at new bases.
Okay, so
Mineral, you're under attack.
I like how you reorganize that. Way better. You want your spines to be able to protect each other, so that's really good. And then what's your drone count look like?
66.
Make drones. Fix that. Go save that base and fix your drones. You can even burrow those drones right now because you have burrow. Or no, you might not actually. You don't worry about it. It's fine. Who cares? Just defend it. Make new drones. And then make static D with your next round of drones.
Engaging the opponent.
Okay. Just let your Hydras fucking own those interceptors.
Has emerged.
Also
Yeah,
check
these
your
lurkers
upgrade.
are like dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, what are they doing?
'cause
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it's okay. Don't panic. It's the one thing you need to not do is panic right now. Check your upgrades. What's your upgrades look like? To get 3/3 if you don't have it for
Oh, I thought I
Evo
did
chambers.
this. Okay.
Okay, so
Let me
make
double
that
check.
make that base. You need make it again. You fucked it up. That's off. Grab your drone and
don't-
rebuild
I
it.
don't know which one did
It's coming right there. And make it again. You had it way too north. There you go. There you go. Now go fix your main.
Oh, yeah,
And-
they're gonna be fine now. My main is
Yeah,
gonna be
you're
fine.
exactly 100%. I agree with you. So check your Evo chambers. Get your upgrades through 3. What is that shit looking like? What's your current upgrades value?
Your forces are
Okay,
under
so
attack.
I only have 1 for some reason, and I think
Are you
I
3/3? Are you
have,
3/2? Are you?
I think I'm at 3-2. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine. Rebuild. Don't rebuild that base. It doesn't need to, because it's nothing there. So yeah, just fix economy. Look at your bases that need drones at it and fix it. Spread your creep too. Get a queen. If you need to make a new one, that's fine. Start spreading creep.
Engage the enemy.
He's attacking top middle. Top middle looks like again.
Beasts
So
under attack again.
get up there. Make Hydras now too. You're so low supply. I want you to have like. Also, infestors are a little bit much right now. We're already having a little bit of problem. This is gonna make it even more complicated. You just need to
Okay.
hit about 80 drones and then max out on about 10 lurkers and all hydras.
Where's my? Oh, is my hydrogen gun?
Your drones
Oh,
Build a new one.
shit.
Build a new one.
So can I just make links to supplement in the meantime then,
No.
or I don't really
you don't have
any-
you don't have a lot of income now, and if you waste your money, you're going to throw the game away.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's why you need to protect these bases that exist.
Spend it all in one place.
Okay, I would say fuck top middle for now because your hydras don't even exist. Go guarantee you secure bottom middle. There are more overall resources in bottom of the map. Like the top of the map is already halfway mined out. The bottom of the map hasn't even been touched yet, so it's more important. No. Okay, don't take his bases. Take your 6 o'clock. Sorry, just take 6 o'clock and focus on it. Like get that shit set up, and if you have to, sacrifice top middle. Make hydras as soon as you can.
Just did.
Okay, make lurkers if you can. Get yourself up to like 8 lurkers or 10 lurkers again. You only have 2 as far as I can see.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. No, you good? Okay, now defend bottom middle. Like I know he's attacking you top middle, but here's what I want you to do. Put like 4 lurkers at the base in bottom middle and just leave an overseer with it and don't even touch that army anymore. Just let it be until you get your static D set up. Like reinforce it a little bit more. Leave like 4 lurkers there. And then go deal with his carriers because this base keeps getting fucking killed by like that shit right there. I'm so glad you went back here to defend this. So or just,
listen to you. Yeah.
so now he's not even attacking you, so fuck it. It's fine. Just stay here. There's no counter pressure somewhere else. Make drones until you so stop making drones now to 80. And the reason why
I'm at 22. Jesus Christ.
make drones up to like 50 or 60. And the reason why I say that is because there's not enough mineral lines to work with anymore. The map is mining out. Okay?
Okay.
So make like up to 50 drones. And then get those on top middle and bottom middle. Now get your army set up. He's attacking you, so only use Microbial Shroud on your units, since you have infestors. Plant your lurkers right now in front of your base, in front of you to give you a nice concave. And then get ready to defend. I would say south, centralize it more. He's coming from the south side more than you realize. Like, he's coming from bottom left rather than the middle of the map. There you go. Now get your army ready to defend. Fight behind lurkers and make hydras if you're at like 50 drones. You want to max out. You're still undersupplied by
I'm
quite
at
a bit.
33 drones.
Okay, make like probably 20 more drones. Fix the gas there. Get static D there. 1 spore, 5 spine. Make your spines a little more closer than that. Okay, focus on the fight. Focus on the fight. Microbial Shroud.
We require more overlords.
The lurker. Because he's hitting the lurker, not the Hydra.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no more. Stop. Don't chase. Do not chase. Chill. Fix your economy.
Okay, so economy.
More overlords.
Okay, need more overlords.
Fix your static D. Fix the gases. Like check main. Fix gases first.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
And
that
then
actually looks pretty fine. Just need
your
more
top
overlords.
top gas in the main's still fucked. Now fix your natural.
Okay, my natural,
Put-
I guess, can afford 2 drones.
Yeah, put a couple drones in the gas. There you go. Third base, put drones in the gas.
Hey, your base is under attack,
Okay.
man.
This base up here is getting killed by DTs. Now you want to relocate your army to the top.
Shit.
That's why you want. Okay, actually, you know what? Be careful. Okay, he's gonna fucking attack your bottom base with carriers when you do this. You have to realize this. Is their carrier army is not being seen. What I want you to do is I want you to send like a 1 or 2 overseers with just some of your hydras, and that's it. Like 15 hydras and like 2 overseers, and don't fucking send everything, because if you leave
Oh,
this,
you want me to send it?
yeah, like right now, like some of your army, because if you leave everything from that bottom base, he's gonna kill your bottom base with carrier, and then you're out of money and you lose the game. He's trying to position you weirdly right now with this little counterattack. This is why static D and lurker is so important to have set up, because you could have dealt with that without having it now be a problem.
Our forces are under
Look at the bottom. See exactly what I'm saying? Now you have army here. Microbial Shroud yourself.
unacceptable command.
Don't chase. Do not chase. Do not chase. Go back. And if he pushes you, Microbial Shroud. Take a moment to probably add in like 5 spore crawlers to your lurkers right now, because you're getting kind of light on the hydras here.
Unacceptable command.
Make your hatchery in the top of the map right here, where your lurker is. Fix it and make static D. Leave those hydras there. Go back up. You need to protect it while it gets built. So grab some drones, because if DTs come back again, you didn't kill them. So if DTs come back again, they're just gonna die again. So make a spore and like 5 spines at that top base. And this is only half the battle, by the way. We're doing nothing aggressively. Imagine if we were doing
Right.
aggressive shit too.
Unacceptable command.
So make spines at that base as well. You need like 5 spines at that top base. You only have 2 spores being built right now. Just sit here until it gets set up. Do not move those hydros. You're chilling. You're going to take good fights as long as you're chilling. As soon as you panic and walk around the map, you're going to take bad fights and lose the game.
Mineral field depleted.
Keep spreading your creep. I love it. He doesn't even have top middle. You are so fucking good right now. Here's what you want to do now. As soon as you get top middle set up, I need you to actually, first of all, we'll talk about that later. I don't want to overdo it. We'll talk about what you need to do now. Fix bottom middle right now too. You don't have, I don't think you have drones on the gas, and look at the mineral line as well. Fix your mineral line. Fix those gases. You're so undersaturating what you have here. So
I need to fix this mineral line.
12 more drones.
Out.
Yes. Okay. So, do you have drones that are oversaturated somewhere else? Check your mineral. Like the 5 drones are idle somewhere. Fix it. Mineral line definitely priority right now. Okay. He's attacking. He's attacking top middle. Take a second to make sure that shit's not going to be fucked up. This should be fine. You have a lurker. You have spines finishing. That should be okay. So now make a couple more drones to fix bottom middle with this open supply you now have. Fix the gas.
Please more of this content,
Now
Mr. VP.
fix the fucking spines that died. Make like 3 more spines because you got to always be on top of that. You can't just like let it be 2 spines now. And now get ready for lurk. Go kill that observer. Great job. Good fucking creep spread. Try to keep spreading creep. Drop some changelings now around the map and go kind of check out what else is going on. Throw some scouts out there. See what you can see. Go scout like bottom middle where he's possibly going to be attacking you from. Okay, now here's something cool and clever. Okay, actually, deal with bottom middle. Deal with bottom middle. Microbial shroud the lurkers and stand behind them with hydros and kill it if he attacks you. Okay, it looks like he might be going north. You see him moving north on the map? What is that big slow fucking thing moving north?
Probably yeah, mothership.
So he might be going north now. So now go get your shit going north. He looks like he's gonna reload. Okay, what's bottom middle? So
he's trying to do a 2-prong.
Yeah. So maybe
stalkers down there.
Maybe leave some lurkers with spores in the bottom, and then wait, what's still in the bottom though? I need to know. Like you need to have an idea what the hell is.
It looks like it's stalkers, but.
So you don't know where the carriers are. They're still undefined. Okay, there they are. So now you know. He might recall his army north. He might do that, but.
Can I not just kill this
I was gonna say
now?
that's what
Or
you can
I'll
do.
what you're saying.
100%. You can now attack that. This is why information's huge. You can now upburrow your lurkers, run into him, burrow, have Hydra support that, microbial shot yourself. If he's gonna split himself up like this, absolutely you can punish that. Hydras don't lead. Microbial shot yourself too though. Lurkers should lead. If you run into a storm, you're gonna throw everything away. Lurkers lead. Go with them though. Go with them.
Wait, where are my other lurkers?
Keep making units. Keep making like new hydras and shit. You're doing a great job.
You're maxed out. Good job.
Maintain microbial shroud. Stutter step your hydras in a couple times. Interceptors are pretty much gone. You want to have better concave now.
You need more. Wow, you're capped out.
And now you're killing a base. And now this guy is running out of money. This guy is now the one who's all in here. You're doing a great job. Now take opportunity here to kill bottom middle. Kill like go down left. Go south west of where you are. Take a glance at top middle. What is that? Top middle. He's attacking you as well. What is happening up there?
Oh, like look up here.
Yeah, look at the top middle.
He's got DTs and things.
Okay, so keep going.
So,
keep going. Kill bottom left though. Bottom left is so much more important than where you're going. New economy important to kill. You can kill bottom left, and then go defend yourself, and then the game is over because he has no income.
Okay, so do I need to peel someone off? Because
just focus on this. Just kill bottom left. Okay, it's pretty much empty. It's actually empty on resources. So now, run home. Just run home. You don't need a base trade. Run home and zone him and defend yourself. This guy has 0 income right now. You have income. You don't need to all in him. He needs to all in you because he has got no future. Just try to protect yourself. He's the one who's bleeding out at the moment. Okay, go fight that army. Lurkers first. Overseer, Hydra behind it. Lurker first. Lurker first. Lurker first. If there's Templar there, you're gonna throw the game away. Okay, Lurker first. Hydra, go behind it. go up again. Since he's running away from you. As soon as you... Okay, he's recalling away. That's fine. Go kill the mothership then. Just dive the mothership. Don't let it get away.
Oh, the mothership can't recall?
No, he just didn't get it because it didn't light up blue. So it didn't have the graphic of recalling. There you go, some lurkers at that shit. Nicely done. The mothership still has a long room to go, a long ways to go. You can still kill it. Just keep on the hunt. All right, so your hydras ended up getting stuck off the cliff there. They kind of ran into the rocks. It's okay. Just now, here's what you do. Don't let him have any economy. Scout every expansion that exists. Take a second to set yours up again. And if you take expansions that exist and he doesn't have any, he loses. So you don't have to think to yourself, I have to kill his base. You don't have to take it that way. Just don't let him have new economy. Make hydras so that you don't overdo it here and like throw everything away. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of glad you backed up. Let the lurker sit there. He doesn't have an observer. Grab your infestors too that you just made and bring them with you. You don't. Infestors are a little bit technical though. We'll talk about it later. Not important right now. Group up your hydras that you just made when they pop, and then fight the carriers, and then the game is going to end in literally about 30 seconds. Group up, fight. Your infestors all just died. It's okay. Fight. And where lurkers don't matter anymore. There's no Templar here. It doesn't mean shit. Just fight the carrier, and you win the game.
I don't know why they're being so ridiculous here.
Just go for it. Let him A move. Let it A move.
We need more money. Minerals.
He has no money to really replace these interceptors repeatedly.
You have not enough minerals.
Just. Oof. Okay. Good job. Now you kill a lot of interceptors. Now you can dive and stutter step on the carrier. Like move, attack, move, attack, move, attack. Like maximize your creep here. You can kill so much of these carriers if you just do it. Okay, back up. There's zealots. If there's ground, you need to back the fuck up. Again, this guy has no income. You do. So, if he's gonna dive you like that, you can fight it. But time is on your advantage. You still are mining, and he's not. So take a second, group up, fight with your lurkers. Just patience. Patience is a virtue here. Okay.
But I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a word.
Okay. Now defend your bottom base. It looks like he's trying to. If that base dies, then suddenly you have a problem. And I would say take a second too. Take a drone when you get a moment. Go expand to top middle, like to 12 o'clock, because that's a new fresh base that no one's touched yet. Burrow your lurkers and then yeah, just let your hydras go to town. Okay, the zealots are on your hydras. It's kind of a problem, but it is what it is. So this is when Skytoss is actually kind of crazy OP, and this is getting kind of scary for you. You might actually die.
Our drones are under attack.
So take
do something with one of my drones. I can't remember what it was though.
top middle expansion. You're running out of money.
You know where my drones are.
Well,
Probably
you're
right
kind of out of drones mostly. Yeah, you have like 30 drones on the bottom base. So now, the best thing you can do is make him defensively run around and chase your lurkers. Yeah, like you need to run around his base with lurkers because you have two hydras. Like it just there was too much diversification and too much like things going on. Like for instance, your infestors you kept making were just suicided and shit. Like ran into the carriers before the fight even started. They were always waddling in the front. They're like, I don't know. It just sucks. It's just how carriers kind of go. But still try to kill his base. He doesn't have an observer. You could still win a base trade. So send a couple lurkers into his main. Like literally just dive into dive everywhere. Don't even play as patiently. Put a couple lurkers at the base on the right. Put a couple lurkers in the base in like the left. Put a couple lurkers in the very bottom left. Like spread lurkers out everywhere. So he actually is still mining that base because he apparently had money there still somehow. So that's also a problem for you, right? But yeah, he doesn't have an observer, so
What if can I regroup all my spores towards my army or something?
You can try.
Should I fortify some central location?
You can try. That's fine, but this carrier army he still has is still quite formidable with what you currently have. And now he also has top middle, so you just lost the game. Your lurker just died going up there. So that was the game, right? Like money is the game, and it fell apart for you at the end here.
Your forces are taking damage. They're attacking.
There's a lot of things we could say
Oh,
about stuff that could have gone better for you, but yeah.
Hey, your base is under attack, man.
Now it's reversed. Now you're the one without money. He's the one with money, so you're kind of fucked.
Your warriors have engaged the
Yeah, I can. Okay, so this is okay. So I guess it's GG.
You're definitely dead. There's no way you're winning.
Oops.
GG.
Okay.
Better luck next time.
Jeez,
So
wow.
yeah, we're I guess we'll just commit to the third hour because we're 20 minutes away from the third hour here because that was a 40-minute game.
Okay, thanks, Vibe. And I'll, of course, I'll send
It's all
the
good.
thing here.
So a couple things happened that game that were pretty substantial for you. The first part that happened for you was opportunity of micro is something that definitely could be improved for you. And the first time it happened to you was with your roach attack. When you had about like 30 roaches and you attacked the Protoss, the Protoss was really scattered with his army. He wasn't really grouped up yet. And there was opportunity for you to focus fire things that were important to kill. And you kind of targeted the Nexus, and your roaches kind of concaved around the Nexus. When, for instance, like there was a couple Protoss units there, like an Immortal, a couple Stalkers. There was a Shield Battery and Overcharge. These are all
right.
opportune things you can kill immediately. But there wasn't enough, it wasn't enough of a sense of urgency for you there. And then when you did start going over to like target fire the Protoss units, you brought only like 2/3 of your roaches, and 1/3 of your roaches still stayed on the Nexus and started shooting the Nexus still. So like it was just too much scattered damage for you that didn't really capitalize on anything, and that was a massive opportunity for you lost at the start of the game.
I can't believe you even remember that happened in this game.
No, it's fine. Yeah. And then later on, that's just something that slowed you down like pretty hard. That also mixed with, you followed that up with a lot of drone fucking distortion all over your base. Like, for instance, there was a good minute of time, like about a minute to like, or maybe a minute and a half of time, where in top right, you had like 9 drones following a drone back and forth, not even mining.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you had a oversaturated base like crazy, while your natural had 8 drones on it for the longest time. Like, it was just fucked up economy. And your third base had no gases being mined for like 6 minutes. And your third gas, or sorry, there was a third gas as well that wasn't being mined in your main. The second gas in your main was also not being mined for like 6 minutes. It was just fucking chaos on your economy all over the place. So that slowed you down like crazy as well. And these things are going to make it to where the Protoss is going to be like, that's why this game went to the split map scenario that it did. Because you actually still made enough to not die, but you didn't ever have enough to like run him over, essentially. And that's ideally what you'd want to have happen if you're going mass hydras and he's going carriers. Like, he opened up initial Stalker, a couple of Immortals, some Archon, some Zealots, into just carrier. He went carrier relatively early in this game. He didn't have like crazy like constant attacks for like with Colossus, Disruptor, whatever.
Right.
It was just like one round of units in the mid game with some Zealot Warp Prism pressure into carrier. So you never really had a capitalized moment where you could counterattack him, so that the game develops into like a late game scenario. And in the late game scenario, it really comes down to like creating a net. So there's 2 ways to look at this. Okay, I want to make this very, very solid and clear for you. But you need to create a situation where you can make a problem. You can spend less time creating a problem for him than it takes for him to solve it. So if you spend 5 seconds making a problem for him and it takes him 25 seconds to solve it, fuck yeah. And if you do that 10 times in a row, he's going to fall apart. But now he's going to do the same thing to you. That's how late game is played in StarCraft 2. But what you can do, you can spend time yourself, which is why I told you to make Lurker spread and Static D spread. You can actually have a net that will catch these problems, that will be like, cool, you spend 5 seconds trying to create a problem for me, but really all you do is you flush minerals down the toilet. Because if he goes, okay, I'm going to have a Warp Prism, and I'm going to fly in your main base, and I'm going to warp in 3 DTs and 10 Zealots. And those 3 DTs are going to walk to your natural, and those 10 Zealots are going to stay in your main. And then I'm going to fly that Prism across the cliff to your 5th base in the low ground. I'm going to make 8 more Zealots. And you're like, and if you don't have any Static D, you're going to be like, Jesus Christ, there's fucking things everywhere. Everything's dying. But if you do have Static D, you're going to be like, thanks for the 2,500 resources you just threw away. I appreciate that.
Okay.
And then he's going to be like, oh, I just bled bank account off. And a lot of times, too, it's not just that. He'll do that setup to you, and he'll combine that with, now I'm pushing you with carriers at the top of the map.
Right.
Something like that. Now you're like, if you don't have any type of net setup, you're just going to die. And you're going to be like, oh, okay, I have to have like crazy fucking high APM if I want to micro against all of these situations, because he's not. All he's doing is going warp in, A move, warp in, A move, warp in, A move. Forget about it. And if you go, scratch your head like, what did you just do? Oh, lurker, spine crawler killed everything? Okay, I didn't even know that happened. You invest the same amount of effort that he does realistically into dealing with that, but you take a win because you set it up properly. But if you have nothing there, now you're like split hydra, split hydra, split hydra. Okay, this hydra fight won over here, and it went over there. But now the main base over here with carriers, or like the top base ended up dying because I don't have enough units up there. Now that base is dead. Now I'm having problems everywhere, and you fall behind and you just can't recover. So you had a hard time setting that up in the mid game like crazy. Like, it was trying to balance the attacks he was throwing at you while setting it up. It was like not being set up fast enough, and then there were times when you would set up the units, but then you would grab them again and take them away, and it would be like, oh fuck, now it's a problem again. Now it's breaking again. Now I gotta fix it again, because it just is something that it's like imagine StarCraft 2 late game is like balancing like a pencil on all 5 of your fingers. And like if you're balancing all 5 at once, it's like obviously no one can really do this. It's like insane. But like if there's perfect harmony on your hand, it's gonna feel easier to maintain perfect harmony. But the second, like, imagine if someone was over there and they grabbed your wrist and they shook your wrist like crazy, and you're like, okay, now let's fix all of this. Like, let's like re-establish harmony here. It's way harder to make your base feel solid if you're not prepared for something that's gonna happen to you that's negative. So the way to make that analogy make sense would be like, if someone's gonna try and shake your wrist, but now let's say your whole arm is like stuck into like
reinforced or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be shook. It's not gonna be shook anymore. It's gonna be sturdy. It's not gonna feel like anything's happening to you. So
actually, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Because you mentioned the point, which I actually experience often, which is I have alt hotkeyed some stuff to go somewhere else and stay static defense, and then the reason it gets re-hotkeyed is because I'm in a situation where I have just made a bunch of units. I have my main army on 3. I have just made a bunch of new units, and usually I try to shift 3 all my new rallies so that I always have my main army and the new ones coming in. But sometimes I forget, and then I get worried. Hey, where did all my rallies go? So then I hit all army hotkey, and then I regroup everything to 3, and then I individually try to remember and redistribute the ones that were not supposed to be on 3 to something else.
Okay.
So
a way you could,
I guess I need a better system.
A way you could fix that is 2 things. One thing you could do is get in the habit of always being really active about having a rally point hotkey. That way, if you ever miss anything that you don't grab, you can always go to the rally point selection area. And you could be like, okay, well, anything that's unaccounted for that I have not already done something somewhere else with, it'll go to that location. And that's like the lost and found unit section, essentially. Like, there you are.
Okay.
That's one way you can do it. It's super easy. You just got to be really assertive about every time you make a hatchery, group it up, rally it to that location every time. That way you don't have hatcheries that have unaccounted units sitting in the mineral lines or some shit. That's one way you could do it. Another way you could do it would be the units that have what's it called? Like assignments to them. Like for instance, if you have like the 4 hydras that I told you leave in the main base for the prism. Let's just say that's on group 6, hypothetically, okay? And let's say now you're like, well, I have other units that I don't know where the hell they are. This is definitely not my whole army. Where are they? Instead of going select all army, hotkey it, you could go select all army, move to this location again, like a new lost and found. Like, everyone move here to the lost and found, and then stop wherever. Like, you're like, okay, group 6, the hydra's on the side of the main, you guys stop for a sec, because I know I don't want you to come here. And everything that doesn't be told to get stopped, it goes to lost and found area, just like I told you with the queens earlier. Kind of similar to that concept.
Like basically like a regrouping, just those. Okay. Oh, I really like both of those. Thank you.
Yeah, it'll be a faster, like, because the worst thing you can do is select an army and just go control 1. Everyone's selected again, and now all previous commands are void and null and don't matter anymore.
Exactly.
Because then, like, what happens? Like, your lurkers, you spent so much more time setting up the triangle lurker setup of like 1 in the main, 1 in the far bottom side, 1 in the far top side. So any type of zealot run by that happens, you guys are ready. And now you go select an army, up burrow, move lurkers to now attack the base. Or set up in front of the carriers.
I did all that with one stroke of a key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you spent 2 seconds eliminating something you did before for 15 seconds or 10 seconds.
Okay.
So you're undoing your little spider web. Yeah, the thread is being undone. But
So the 2 points you mentioned, spend time with the defense, that net basically, and that generally happens at 200 when I hit 200 supply.
yes, it happens
And
when
then
the map is like a split map scenario, which is definitely going to be a maxed out scenario.
Okay. And then spend time to fix economies. This is something I definitely don't do in game.
Think about it like this. This is why I told you to calm down. Take your fucking time and be like, oh, fuck everything else. Fix this, fix that, and then I had you set it up, because if you get really fast at it, then suddenly you're just really fast at it and you're insane.
Sure.
But it takes practice to do that. But if you prioritize that, every second that goes by in the game that you have less problems happening, it's easier to maintain everything going forward. I'm going to give you another analogy right now. Imagine that the house is on fire. You have a building that is on fire. And imagine that you can take a second to set up like a sprinkler system that'll like go off for you and set off put all the fire, it'll douse everything off. But instead of doing that, you're panicking and running from the kitchen sink with one glass of water, running at every single fire, trying to throw water on it every time. And you're doing maximum amounts of time to give yourself no fucking setup of like a system that works well. Because you literally were like, you were spending so much time being like, all right, I'm gonna move my army up, I'm gonna move my army down, I'm gonna move my army up, I'm gonna move my army down, I'm gonna chase his army, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna chase his army, I'm gonna walk into fog of war, I'm gonna walk back, I'm gonna walk into fog of war, I'm gonna walk back. And I was like, stop fucking going over there. Stop. Just stay defensive. Don't even touch your army. Let it sit there. Set up a sprinkler system in your main base, which is like the master bedroom. Set up a sprinkler system in the natural, in the third, in the fourth, in the fifth. Set up all these fail safes that make it so easy for you not to have to be like panicking every time anything happens. And then suddenly, now, when you want to walk into unexplored territory, you don't have to be like, Jesus Christ, everything's falling apart the second anything happens. Because the way it was playing before, all this guy has to do to break your entire plan is go, I'm going to make 10 supply, 5 DTs, which is 10 supply worth of DTs, and go, one goes into the main, one goes into the natural, one goes into the third, and so on and so on. And then your whole build fucking falls apart. And that is such a core fundamental problem with your setup if that's what's happening to you, which is why at that point in the game, you definitely need some fail safes. And it allows you to actually play late game, because no one that plays late game has a base that is completely just like wide open. They always have some type of like automated defense in there that will assist them in a way that like absorbs resources logically, like because it's actually good to set it up, because if the guy continues to invest into you to attack you, which is just normal behavior in StarCraft, he actually over-invests and loses out in the resource trade game. And if you really think about it like this, it's multi-purpose. Not only does it make it you not panic and make bad decisions, but if you're not panicking in a moment that really matters, like a main army versus army fight, it makes your resources go further, because you don't take wasteful fights in the army fight that's going to be more like worth 10,000 and not worth only like 300 or 500, where like it's 5 zealots in your main. So that's the important one you got to look at. And on top of that, the more resources that get wasted by your opponent, the easier it is for you to manage control of the game, because what the game comes down to at the end of the game like this is whoever has resources at the end wins the game. That's exactly why I told you, if you remember,
economy controls the game.
Well, like I'll make your memory remember this one part in the game. You said, should I make Zerglings right now? And I said no.
Yes.
Because if you do that, you're going to have no minerals and you're going to have a lot of gas, because you don't have a lot of income anymore. You need to maximize your resources at this point in the game. So you can't be wasteful. And if the Protoss did exactly what I told you to do, but on his version, if he was like, cannon battery at every base, and you're like, Lings, just randomly go attack. And you're like, oh, fuck, cannon battery just absorbed it all. He lost maybe 150 resources, and I lost 900 minerals worth of Lings that just down the fucking drain. Not a good trade. So you got to be really careful about how you do shit like that and how you set it up.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying... sorry, last thing I'll say is... I'm not saying Ling attacks are always bad, but in this game particularly, it didn't make sense because you had no melee upgrades, you had no adrenal gland upgrade, and you also had no income to like the game was already so late that you had no real income to waste anymore to like to throw at his to because again the only reason why you would want to do that is you're wasting economy of yourself to deny economy of his. So you're like, even though you might take an inefficient trade in that one fight, it's for the purpose of making him not able to mine anymore, and then you take that base yourself later on or something.
Okay, that makes sense. The other point I was gonna jump to, but you may have something you already want to go over instead, is in terms of engagements. One is if something was going wrong with the engagements, but also I remember you saying something about me spreading the army a bit thin, like I did infestors and stuff.
So your tension is what I'm talking about with that. You're already struggling to keep up with everything I'm telling you to do, which is fine. It's normal. I'm not trying to shit on you there with any reason or anything like that. It's just going to feel overwhelming to get that down. And the way you're microing the Hydras was not enough already. And that means that you're not ready to take the next step, in my opinion. Like, here's an example of what I mean. The way you're micing the Lurkers and the Hydras a lot of the times was the Lurkers a lot of times would either be too far back or they go too far forward. They weren't like monitored properly to be at the perfect spot. And like every time the flight would fluctuate and go back and forth, you wouldn't micromanage Lurkers on point and do that repeatedly with it. Like the Lurkers would just be out of position a lot of times. And the Hydras would A-move concave on a carrier when the carriers are like, when you have advantage where it's like, good job, you just killed all the interceptors. And now they're paperweights that are flying away from you for the most part. The Hydras would concave and they would repeatedly walk into the carrier range, shoot it once, stop because they would shoot once. And then they would have another Hydra go, bump into his back and go, excuse me, walk around it, walk in the front, shoot once. And it would make your concave really weak DPS wise. Because it would you'd fuck yourself over with Hydras constantly blocking Hydras. But what needs to happen? My
understanding.
Or go
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay.
Finish your thought first.
Yeah. So what should be happening with your Hydras specifically, when you have when you've now taken a good defensive, like you've absorbed it, and now you want to counter pressure it, like you've absorbed the interceptors, which was a good job, and then you want to now counter shove the carrier as they fly away from you. You attack. And then you move with everything. So your first Hydra, when it attacks, is not at max range. Your first Hydra, when it attacks, is probably within like 2 range out of a possible 6. Because it allows a 3 range, a 4 range, a 5 range clump of Hydras behind it to attack. And then you don't just let it A-move either right there. You attack and immediately quickly stutter step during the... so I explained this in Beta GM in Diamond League in like video number 1, where we're talking about attack animation. And we're talking about attack speed. And attack speed is like, you can move during the attack speed cooldown, and you will let attack animation go off and then move immediately. So you don't cancel the attack in period. And then... By
the way, I'm stutter... you said stutter, attack. I'm stuttering and pressing S to stop.
No.
Is that okay?
I mean, you can do that. That's fine. But the reason why I don't like that is because if any Hydras are out of range of the carrier in the back, they're actually going to stop. But if you stutter and attack... If you move, attack move, attack move, it makes Hydras that are out of range continue to move the entire time.
Oh, so is your mouse say on my screen right now, if my Hydras are here and the carriers are here, are you saying
my mouse would be behind the carrier?
Over here.
Yeah, my mouse would I can't actually see your mouse with the Discord thing.
Oh, my mouse would be your mouse.
I can see the green box. Exactly,
here.
Yeah, I can see the green box. Yeah.
And you'd be saying right click and then A click, right click, A click, right click, A click. Okay.
Yeah. And that way, the Hydras that are not already under the carriers would still move forward, and they wouldn't just stop and go, well, I'm out of range of being aggressive right now because nothing's nearby that I can shoot. So I'm just going to actually stop.
Okay.
So it makes all Hydras always move forward. And you would go attack move command, attack move command. And you would just keep stuttering under the carrier, and you would maximize so much more fucking overall shots from the Hydras going into the carriers. And like that alone, if you can master that, you would have crushed this guy. There was multiple opportunities where you could have taken advantage of that, and the carrier just kind of got away. And then you were adding in Microbial Shroud, which is now a third compositional thing, an element into your build, into your composition that you need to utilize. And that it makes it even more complicated because now you're having, if you're not microing the Lurkers perfectly, and if you're not microing the Hydras properly, how are you going to micro the Infestors perfectly?
Okay.
So it's just that's where it comes down to, like, if I tell you to juggle 3 balls at once and that's already hard for you. Now, what if I hand you 6 and you're like, oh, okay, I'm fucking not doing that, but I'll try. Like everything, you throw it up once and they all hit the floor and you're like, oh, that was that good. Like it has to be something you progressively build yourself up towards because you should be able to micro all 3 perfectly or as good as you can Like, it looks good when you do it, if you can handle it. And you can only really handle it if you can already handle what you can do the previous step before that. And like with Infestors, the way to micro that properly would be you could Microbial Shroud your army where like the front line is going to engage you. Like the interceptors are going to engage like the lurkers, for instance, and you Microbial Shroud right over the edge of the lurkers with the far side, but the cloud stretches towards your Hydras, not towards its carriers. Makes no sense if it stretches towards the carrier. So you want the edge of your lurkers to be on the edge of the cloud, but it goes towards your army. And then you can throw in fungal growth every now and again. Get good with timing fungal growth. If you throw like one fungal at the blob over the interceptors are engaging, you actually minimize attack speed of interceptor because they go super slow now. And that's like a secondary Microbial Shroud right there. It weakens DPS of carrier. And then if the carriers run away, you could catch them with fungals as he runs away to really maximize damage on them. So they're super fucking slow as the Hydra's really get on top of them. You could also, if you pick off an observer and you notice the lurkers take 0 damage from now on because they're invisible, you could burrow Infestors and neural parasite every carrier.
So I'm thinking, in this situation, if I just eliminated the Infestors,
it would have made microing easy.
I could still win. Okay.
A big reason why too that I would say that would make sense is you only really need Infestors versus a player who has like 15 plus carriers. Like you actually need spellcasters if the guy has like max carriers, like is a fuckload of carriers. And most of the time this game, this guy never even went double digit carrier. He was rocking like 8 carrier, 9 carrier, 7 carrier. Like he killed you at the end of the game here with about 7 carriers. And I'm never going to say Infestors are bad. I don't want you to think that I think that they're bad. They're amazing units, and they definitely are worth their weight in what they cost. But it is bad, though, if you don't micro things properly already before you use them, and now that you're using them, if your micro goes even further down the trash can, because now it's even more complicated, and you're already struggling to do what you were doing before they could exist.
You can't run before you can walk, basically.
Yeah, well, you're just not going to utilize what they can offer you. Like, the Infestors are so much more capable than what you're doing with them. Is what I'm saying. And then if you're adding them in and everything else is even more fucked now because you're trying to position shit properly. Like, here's an example. In the bottom middle engagement, when I told you pounce on him, engage, you won the fight because it made sense because of the fact that he was splitting his army. But you took a lot of losses that you didn't need to take in that fight. For instance, you moved the lurkers forward and then you burrowed them early. And then your Hydras went forward. And I said, back up, back up, back up. You don't want to engage lurker first. And then you threw out like 6 maybe not 6, that's maybe an exaggeration, but like 4 Microbial Shrouds, like just all over the place. And that's really a waste of energy. It's fucking a little bit much. And then you did nothing with Fungal, and you did nothing with Neural. You just did a bunch of Microbial Shroud there. It's whatever. But then you took damage in the Hydras, and then you backed up again. And then you uprode your Lurkers, and then you dove your Lurkers super fucking far forward away from your Hydra Infestor. So they weren't being supported anymore. And then you burrowed them really up in the face. And then you now A-moved again with a Hydra Infestor, and you once again set up Microbial Shrouds. And then your Infestors waddled all the way into death, and every one of them fucking died.
Remember, yeah.
So like they all just kept going forward because they're on an A-move command. So that's like not something I would be like, that was fucking worth it. I'd rather you have more supply in Lurker Hydra and have like really nicely supported Lurkers with your Hydras always right behind them, and like just getting that down, just the two of those units always synergizing really well together, and you would have had a more effective fight than what you took otherwise because you would have lost less resources.
Okay, so actually as a next step, I think I could focus on practicing Lurker Hydra micro and skip the Infestors, and I still have a chance to win. Let me master that first.
Yeah, Infestor is definitely great, but if your Lurker Hydra micro is suffering already, you want to make sure you're capitalizing on that as much as you can. Like, there's so much more you could be doing with that army than you were this game.
Okay, so key lessons. So it was the nets, the defense setup. It was the economy, and those engagements as well.
Mm-hmm. Lots of stuff. But I mean, that's good though, because it's lots of stuff to work on, and overall, a lot of potential. Like you very realistically could have won this game like multiple times. There's never one point in this game where I was like, "You're dead," until I said, "You're dead." Like at the until the very end because you had no money and he's got a full economy and you're fucked.
Yeah, yeah.
Because and you also only had like 200 minerals at that point, and so it's like, well, what are you gonna do about this? You're just gonna die. But
Okay.
up until that point, you had a serious chance to win the game every time. Like if things would have just gone a little bit better for you at different points in the game, if like some of these mistakes that all accumulated to you eventually losing the game, if some of those were a little bit faster, a little bit better for you, you could have absolutely won this game.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so many things to practice on, but thank you, and thanks for going over. I guess it kind of just naturally did that way, and I'm sorry that about the schedule, but it means a lot that you did that because
it's all
I
good.
feel like this was more thorough than had we just ended where we would have
Oh, for
ended,
sure.
and I really appreciate
I feel
it.
like what we just got out of this was you got some more hands-on coaching once again, but I feel like we did definitely do a thorough ZVT talk discussion, and now we got some hands-on practice again with ZvP. So it's nice to get. I agree. It's nice to get both, but we definitely went super thorough in the analysis of ZvT. So, but it's the beautiful thing about Zerg, or not even Zerg, just StarCraft in general, is even though we didn't even have a play test on ZvT, no matter what you do, when you play and you try to maximize habits that apply to all matchups, it'll make you better at all matchups. So,
Exactly.
it's still overall good practice for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I can't wait to schedule the next session with you because I think kind of hammering this in rather than waiting as long as I did this time, I think will do me really well. So I will work on finding out what your schedule is for the next time as well.
That sounds good. Well, as always, dude, thank you again for doing it, and I appreciate it a lot. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, and good luck in your games coming up in the next few days. And hopefully, you start just being like, "Wow, this shit, so many things." It's like I'm seeing a game in a new way. It's like I see the Matrix now. It's just different. But hell yeah, man! I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. We'll have a great weekend.
All right, you too. Take it easy.
Thank you.
All right, later, man.
Really appreciate it. Bye. Thanks.
All right, boom, boom, and we're good. Shout out to Brown Ranger for the doing another lesson. He's a super nice guy. He's super chill. And guys, thanks for watching. I know this was a bit of a longer lesson. This was 3 hours, but this was, again, it was a lot of ZvT discussion and some ZvP hands-on experience. So I hope you guys learned something from it. And until next time, until the next video, whatever you might see, have a good night, have a good day, good luck in your games, and thanks for hanging out. Peace, guys.